in our industry, such as ShopRite, who donated the food. We love ShopRite for that. So I want to thank all our sponsors. Give me 1 second, there's a lot, so I don't want to miss anything. Dirty Dank Jerseys, Scarlet Reserve, Shore Grow. We have Ascend, who is doing the expungement clinic, which is huge, which is for free. Dry Combs, David Cross, Geiger Six, who helped us with getting product. Um, we have FEM. We have Home Grow Coalition, Baked by the River, Leaf Case, Token Jew. We have our cannabis outreach here. Canademics, Blaze Responsibly, who are the attorneys doing the expungement. We have to thank so much for helping folks out for free. Canna Coverage, TV Trading Co. And I want to give a special shout out also to Ruby Gardens, who were kind of coming up with this idea and helping us out. They're here as well. Frederick, he really helped us come up with this and help us make it better. And he's a great sponsor. MPX for, geez, hooking us up with everything, with rosin and dabs and flour. MPX was huge for this. And they're also unionized with us. So please shop at MPX. And to all other cannabis workers here, whether it's ZenLeaf, AIR, Botanist, support working class issues. The Coalition of Medical Marijuana is great for patient access, patient care. If you're looking into becoming a medical patient, I 100% suggest talking to Coalition. Without them, we would have never had medical cannabis in this state. So, thank you. Thank you. So, in just saying all that, we really want you to have a good time. We want you to relax. If you have friends and family that are just chilling at home, tell them to come down. ShopRite has plenty of sandwiches they gave us, right? Plenty of fine cannabis. So once again, the UFCW thanks everybody for showing up, and we hope you have a good time. So get ready for a smart panel too. All right, bye bye.
Hey, I want to say thank you to everyone for coming out today, and I want to especially thank UFCW for having us. As patients in New Jersey, it can be easy to feel like you don't have a voice, so I really want to say thank you for this chance to have that speak up every opportunity we have, and for taking the stance that patients' rights are workers' rights. And I would also love to thank all of the panelists I have here today, and everyone who you see around the room. Because they're right, we couldn't have medical marijuana without CMMNJ. Sativa Cross has been out here fighting for our rights for longer than I've been doing it, that's for sure. And it's really exciting that I can introduce some new faces on the panel today because we have growing and growing support. Every person up here believes that we can do better for the patients of New Jersey and that together we will do better for the patients of New Jersey. So before I start with where they're at now, let's talk about where we all started. And feel free to play along if you're in the audience, if you're one of the Homegrow allies out there, because this goes out to all of the panelists. Can you put your hand up if the first time you smoked cannabis was more than 5 years ago? More than 5 years? Keep it up if it's more than 10 years. I'm going to go for 15.
I'm sold. I can't keep my hand up this moment.
What about 20? Leave it up if the first time you consumed was before Y2K.
Oh my God.
All right. Sounds like there's a lot of experience in this room here. You can put them down for a minute. All right. Hands back up if you have lived in New Jersey your whole life? All right. Down. Have you ever worked in the cannabis industry, whether you're in New Jersey, outside of New Jersey, anywhere in the production line? Hands up.
Underground.
All right, put them back down. Have you ever consumed cannabis as a patient, as for its medicinal benefits, whether that's chronic or whether that's something acute like nausea, migraines? All right, hands up if you've ever legally cultivated cannabis, whether it's New Jersey or outside. Legally cultivated cannabis. Keep that hand up. Let's see. Who had to leave the state of New Jersey to actually grow cannabis? Who in this room can legally grow cannabis in New Jersey right now? Hey. So one person out of this room. There were a lot of hands up that have been doing this for over 20 years. There's a problem in New Jersey. Home grow's been on the table for 14 years. Patients have been waiting. Patients have been dying waiting. And patients have been struggling to scrape by even with an abundant rec industry. So I'd like to introduce some other patients and let you hear their stories and hear about what we can do to change the industry, why the policy is the way it is, and how we can finally fix it. So, Tracy, would you like to take the floor?
So those of us who don't know me, my name is Tracy Anderson, and I started my cannabis journey back in 2019 when I was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis. The doctors immediately put me on what they called disease-modifying drugs. I didn't have an option. What I quickly learned was that there are different grades of medicines, and you have to fail medicines before you can be put on other medicines. One day I had one medicine for multiple sclerosis, and then I woke up one day and I had 40 medicines under my cabinet waiting for me to take. Because once you start taking one pharmaceutical med, that leads you to another. So I went from an MS doctor to an MS doctor and a GI doctor, and then I had to add in a neurologist, and then I had to add in a cognitive therapist in order to function throughout my days. I was a skeleton of what I had once been. And somebody mentioned that I should get my medical card. So I went down, and it was in 2019 at a time when everything was still sketchy. You had to go into a doctor's office and pay an astronomical amount of money in cash because that's the only thing they took. I left that day with zero education, and I quickly found out that there wasn't a whole lot of anybody who had any idea of how to treat this with cannabis. But I knew one thing, I could not live my life any longer on 40 different pills a day. So one by one, I stopped taking the medicine because you see, I tried to talk to my doctor and tried to have my medicine reduced. But see, if you reduce your medicine, then you're not compliant. And when you're not compliant, they don't want to pay you. So it becomes a vicious cycle. And that's what led me to cannabis. So yeah, I'm a patient first. And I got angry. And the more angry I got, I just was determined to educate myself to the best possible way I could, learn how to treat myself, learn how to medicate myself. And I then started to work in the industry. So that's how I got here today.
Thank you. And Tracy tends to sell herself a little short. She's working with elucidation strategies. She's going to be a cannabis educator. She works with Butter Cake as a kitchen supervisor, one of everybody's favorite edibles in New Jersey. And not only that, Tracy, can you tell us what did you do at Rutgers?
I am certified in the law and business of cannabis in the state of New Jersey.
She's more than a patient. Give her a little another round of applause. I would love to move down to another patient at the other end of the panel. Taco. Are you willing to tell everybody your story? You actually made it out of New Jersey. I'm sure people would love to hear the difference.
Yeah. So yeah, I've been a medical patient for about going on 12 years. Working in the cannabis industry on the West Coast. Grower, processor, manufacturer, I've done it all. And when I lived in Oregon, the comparison as far as like medical patient prices, it's ridiculous. Out there, I had to take about $6 grand. I need roughly about 7 grams, 8 grams of hash rosin for my condition. So my condition as a medical patient is that I have chronic pain due to my debilitating arthritis. It's actually a rare form of arthritis. Less than 90,000 people have in the country. So it's like, yeah, 35 getting diagnosed with very rare chronic pain arthritis disease that's really slowly eating away at my spine. I was on opiates for well over 15 years. I take multiple pills a day. At that point, hash rosin is my exit door. It's like New Jersey needs to get with it because it's like, why is there home rights for patients at this point? I have well over the experience to be able to grow my own medication, process it, and make what I need to make. As a disabled person who doesn't have a job, I think that's fair. To be able to grow my own medication, but politicians don't see that. So, yeah, I had to leave New Jersey just to be a medical patient refugee, go and get access to what I needed. New Jersey doesn't give me that access, and it's not fair that it's so expensive for my medication. I'd have to spend well over $1,200 a week in a New Jersey dispensary just to have a better quality of life, to avoid surgery and reconstructing my entire spine. It has a 75% chance that I end up in a wheelchair as a quadriplegic at 35. Cannabis helps me go hiking. I walk my dog multiple miles a day. I'm not dying from the medication that they prescribed to me. But my doctor literally told me, hey, don't take both these medications, you will die. Like that's the craziest warning I've ever heard from a doctor. It's like you can't tell me not to take muscle relaxers and opiates at the same time when you're telling me to take it. Like that makes absolutely no sense. Like be careful, you may die. Like oh, cool. Thanks for the death warning. RSO, hash rosin is usually what I end up taking as a medical patient. It's not available, readily available as I need it. That's the sad part. I need to get with more rights. I feel, you know. Yeah. Realistically speaking, to afford to be able to medicate myself and live that better quality of life without the surgery, probably be easier on me to be able to medicate and live that life that I need to live with the chronic pain instead of taking multiple opiates a day. Yeah, I feel like New Jersey needs to get with it. I don't know how you guys feel about it. But I'm getting tired of it. It's wild because like there's only certain strains that help me. None of these dispensaries carry. And if they do carry, it doesn't work. I've tried it. It doesn't get me fucking medicated. What am I supposed to do? Pay for stuff that doesn't work for me. I need certain strains that work for me. Gorilla Glue, Hash Burger. These are all strains that aren't readily available because they're like older strains and they're not selling. So it's like either that or it sells out immediately. Why is it something that I need not available? It's kind of sad. When you think about it. Now I'm back in Jersey trying to figure out how we can change this.
So why don't we give Paco a round of applause too? Now we'll turn it over to Dave. You can explain the difference in being in the medical industry here versus some of the opportunities he found in other states, instead of just the patient perspective, what it's like to be a caretaker and what your options are.
Hey everyone, Big Dave, Honey Grove Dispensary, Honey Stash Dispensary. I'm in the industry 28 years. I've dedicated my life to this plant. I moved away from New Jersey 20 years ago, and I'm grateful to be back. I was in Maine the past 15 years as a cultivator. Before that, I was upstate New York as a legacy guy, sour diesel guy. it's a real blessing to be home and find myself in a position to be helping the standards in the industry. When I first got here, I wouldn't even smoke one thing on the shelves, especially as somebody who cultivated at a high level, organic and super soil. It's been an amazing year actually to see so many changes in the industry, and the industry actually rising and having higher standards, and everything on the shelf hasn't been sprayed with terrible stuff now and going through a terrible machine to take cancer away from it. So with the new companies like Brighter Side and you know, EV Farms and Jersey Grown, we actually have a brighter future in the industry. It's really pathetic that anyone would go to jail over growing cannabis. It's super pathetic that you would still do 5 years in this state for growing cannabis. It's super pathetic that I grew cannabis for 20 years and I can't grow a plant for my mother, who's needs it. And I have more background in it than most of the people in the industry, and I'm not allowed to grow it or touch it. And I'm scared to grow a plant in this state, which doesn't make sense. I don't think anybody who is on earth should be scared to grow a plant that heals you. So I stand with home grow, and I will continue to stand with home grow. And as somebody who got the privilege to heal people for 15 years growing medically and see people have a better life not being on opiates, and see my friends die from opiates because they weren't able to grow with this plant, I will stay fighting for home grow. I will stay fighting for the industry. And if you aren't having high standards in your company, I'm coming.
Someone else who can fill us in a little bit about what it's like to have standards and maybe something we can do about it and how we can self-regulate the industry. Education comes from a lot of different areas. Not always hands-on, sometimes it's in the classroom too. I'd like to introduce Michael Boone.
Hello, nice to meet everybody. My background's a little different. I took a formal route to get here, massive amounts of education. My experience with cannabis started probably a lot before a lot of people in this room were born, somewhere around 1976, 77. So we've been experimenting with the plant and enjoying its benefits and learning how it works from a health standpoint for quite some time. The reason why I present myself as coming from the education side of it is because right now I have a master's in cannabis, science and therapeutics from the University of Maryland School of Pharmacy. So we do a deep dive into the plant, look at it in all the ways that it can heal from strictly a medical perspective. So my background and my faith in the plant comes from the medical side. I also have a master's degree from the University of Michigan School of Business, so I have an MBA. So I'm sort of like somebody who can help understand what the other side is trying to do and how they feel, while keeping faith in what I know and what I can do and what the plant can do for its patients. So I've seen all aspects of the industry. Right now, I'm in the industry. I work for a company that I may not need to mention because of NDAs and all that kind of fun stuff. But I'm deeply involved in the industry from that perspective. And to be honest with you, I can tell you straight up front, it's not pretty. It's just not. All the things that you guys talk about that are going on in the industry, they are. I've witnessed it. I see it all the time. I work with the CRC on a daily basis. My job in the company I work with is in compliance. So I make a vast attempt to help people safe. To be honest with you guys, I'm failing miserably. I really don't want to swear, but we're failing. We just are. The commission's spending more time regulating commerce than they are safety. If they spent the time and money and effort regulating safety as opposed to commerce, we would be a lot more safe. Commerce, let these business people do whatever they want. I don't give a flying you know what if XYZ money making dispensary goes under because they did something stupid business wise. They should go under. But when it comes to a safe plant, that's where my concerns are. And that's not where the money and the efforts go. So from my perspective, I look at things a little differently. I think if we want to better this industry, we're going to have to do it ourselves. I believe in self-help, self-regulation, self-testing, all that. That's how we resolve the issues. My MBA tells me that if you want to change in the business world, it's not supply, it's demand. It's 1,000% demand controls everything. So if we find something that we don't feel is right, boycott it. I guarantee you it will change sooner than you ever thought because it's all about the dollars. Businesses don't care about protests. They don't care. As an example, I teach business class. I tell my students, you can have the best cause on the planet. You can be out protesting in front of that corporate headquarters every day, all day. The CEO's taking his private car, going to the back of the building, taking his private elevator up to the top, and he's looking down the window. And he's saying, oh, there's protesters down there. What are they drinking? Our product. Oh, great. You defeated yourself before you even started because they don't care about the fact that you're protesting. They care about the bottom line. So if we're going to be effective, if we're going to be safe, let's sort of go after their bottom line. I guarantee you'll get the results we want. Also, I'm thinking about doing some secret shopping in the industry. On a personal level, I'm starting an organization called Safely. And if you join Safely Society, what we will do is we will go to various dispensaries throughout the state, pull product off the shelf, right off the shelves, have it tested, and then take the results and share them amongst ourselves. If we start to get bad product, I'm not trying to be the snitch in the industry. That's not what I want to do. I just want to make the industry safe. So once we find something that we don't feel is correct, instead of running to the commission, we go to that individual dispensary and say, look, dude, you got some not so good stuff on your shelves. You need to backtrack where you bought that from, what manufacturer, how they got there, and then we resolve the issue that way by getting cooperation from them. I could speak for hours. I also teach college, so I do three-hour lectures, and I'm not going to do that here. So
I just want to speak on that real quick. As a cultivator for 20 years, what he's speaking about is going on because I know some of the stuff on my shelves, and I'm not going to rat anybody out either. They do not test like that, and it's not quality. And please, I would love to join forces with you on that.
I would like to say as a patient too, there's definitely problems with some of the product, and you are allowed as a consumer to get anything tested you want. Not every lab is open to the public, although it's allowed to be, but Trichome Analytics, who's here, make sure you stop and say hi because you are allowed to test anything you want as a consumer. And I think when we come together as consumers and as dispensaries, we can drive the market. And these problems with lab corruption and lab shopping, falsifying numbers, my life depends on what's in that medicine. I have epilepsy and brain damage. I'm off all pharmaceuticals. And I've seen problems with the medicine firsthand. And I don't know, Paco, do you have a working mic down there? I was going to say, there's been issues in every state. This isn't exclusive to New Jersey, but let's just say New Jersey is the best at certain things. Have you seen this in other states when you were working even on the West Coast?
Yeah, so when I was processing cannabis in Oregon, I would run a trim machine for a large grow, and they would take all the shake and dump it right on top of the cannabis that was about to be sold. And they would say, oh, the testing guy would literally say, hey, do you want the percentage to be at 30%? And they would literally fudge the numbers on purpose just to sell the product because they're pushing this over 30% consumption of THC is amazing. It's good for you. Not all about THC. They would literally pour ounces of keef on top of it just to test it, get a higher testing. And this is like in metric cannabis grow that is in the legal market.
They promise us as patients that it's safe because it's legal, but even the legal market is willing to step up and say, you need to be your own advocate. You need to check your own product. We need to all work together. And it's nice to know there's a lot of people in this room who are willing to work together on this secret shopper program. I know there's been union support for this concept when I've brought it up before. It's really nice to see the team coming together because it's time things change. And I want to make sure we get to introduce our other panelists too. And Sydney, would you maybe talk about where things are at right now in terms of the CBA's perspective and your experience in college and what the people are thinking about this? Because I don't think it's just the few patients and handful of people here who are concerned or who want to see change.
No. Can you hear me? Yeah. Okay. Hello, my name is Sydney. I'm a graduate student at Rowan, and I'm getting my master's in public policy. Last year in my undergrad, I did a lot of advocating for SSDP, Students for Sensible Drug Policy. We got involved in the medical community, especially college kids on campus who consume medically. Where are they allowed to consume? Are they going to get in trouble? Where are they keeping their stuff in their dorm? College problems, young people problems that, they need a voice. So Ryan Ems founded SSDP to kind of get that sensible drug policy out there because there's a lot of drugs in colleges and on campuses. Also the safety of the next generation, compared to the legal market, I mean, home cultivation makes sense for medical communities, especially addiction issues coming off pharmaceuticals. These people have done a lot of educating themselves, and it's all about educating yourself on what you need and what's best for you. Nobody should be able to tell you what's best for you. You have to be your own advocate and know what's best for you and do your research. So it's very important that I believe personally home cultivation is passed, but also the students at Rowan, a lot of community members. It's only a small percentage, It's not everyone wants to do that. It's a need. There's a need for it for a group of people, and that group of people matters in this state. And let them do what they need to do. It's not going to affect the dispensaries. People who can afford to go to the dispensaries obviously go to the dispensaries. People who want to go to the dispensaries go to the dispensaries. People who want to try it go to the dispensaries. Students, where are they going? People who can't afford dispensary prices, where are they going? Because, like you said in the beginning, how many people have been using? How many people have been consuming? So it's important that we continue to come together and use the voices that we have to advocate for ourselves, our businesses, and all the community, and make this industry a better industry and a leading industry in New Jersey.
I agree with a lot of what you're saying. And when you talk about where the young people are getting this, or when the industry talks about worrying, home grow will fuel the black market. Prohibition is proliferation of the black market. By having no form of legal access to specific strains or to specific products, you are forcing there to be a black market. So I think in other states, we've seen things play out a little bit differently. And Chris Goldstein is a prolific activist and a regional organizer for NORML. And maybe you can explain a little bit about why New Jersey is like this and how we got here.
Why is New Jersey? Why is the Garden State the no Garden State? Why are we the one state where you can't grow weed?
Why?
New York, you can grow weed. Maryland, you can grow weed. Actually, Delaware is the other state in the region that did this because they followed our ridiculous lead. Unfortunately, in politics, in this situation, I don't have an easy answer. We have a normal activist playbook that we would usually say. Contact your legislators. Get co-sponsors on a bill. But guess what? We've got bipartisan co-sponsors. We've got good legislation. We've got most of the legislature actually on our side. We got one guy, the Senate President, Nicholas Scutari. He is a big hang-up. Lefty has a rat, a giant inflatable rat that everybody's been helping take around. And that's cool. That's awesome.
Ratari.
A Ratari. And, again, I have been advocating that we probably need to buy billboards. I'm not kidding around. We need a public awareness campaign that is talking to Nicholas Scutari. Okay? Billboards he might pay attention to. We could use the rat as a character on the billboards. We could go digital. We could trade it out like every week. It would be fun. But really, the weird thing is, I was just thinking today, in 2016, they had the Democratic National Convention in Philadelphia. And we had a marijuana welcome party for the delegates at a bar. And Nick Scutari showed up. Kid you not. He didn't smoke anything. There was a dab rig on the bar, just like this. And Nick showed up and he drank Miller Lights the whole time. But he hung out. And it was an environment like this. There was Nick. That was the relationship we used to have with Senator Scutari. He would show up during the DNC. There were other members of Congress who showed up that night. We had a grand old time. But in 2016, the Democratic Party adopted a platform pathway to legalization. And back then, Nick, in 2016, believed in homegrown. He was an advocate. He was so on our side. And in 2024, this guy, this former friend, is now our worst hang-up on this issue. And we can't even get him on the phone. Seriously, Scutari used to hang out at the bar while we smoked out of a dab rig, and now won't even talk to us on the telephone. And he's passing a psychedelics bill that closely mirrors New Jersey's original very restrictive medical marijuana law. So why are we the way that we are? Not because we don't have support, not because we don't have legislators who want us to home grow, but we have one singularly powerful legislator in the Senate President. Could that change? Maybe. If anybody else was the Senate President right now in New Jersey, maybe Teresa Ruiz or Troy Singleton. If anybody else was the Senate President, we wouldn't have this problem. Troy Singleton sponsors bills to legalize home cultivation. Teresa Ruiz has in the past sponsored them. She's a tough cookie, but she wouldn't be a hang-up like Scutari. So, I've explained, Scutari is not going to get reelected again. He's not up for reelection until 2026. But that doesn't mean he's the Senate President forever, okay? I've talked about filing an ethics complaint against Senator Scutari about home cultivation. He has capriciously, overzealously overextended himself on this issue. And he has broken ethical rules. If you read the Legislative Code of Ethics in New Jersey, there are 224 mentions of cannabis. We actually have a pretty tight ethics code. Earlier this year, if you remember this, they changed the ethics rules for marijuana to allow legislators to own more in a dispensary. It's very convenient. But those same legislative ethics rules didn't change enough to get Scutari out of trouble. Now, this would be a court of his own peers, the Legislative Ethics Committee in the Assembly, right? Would his own peers hold him account for this? Probably not. But it's worth it to file, okay? And it's worth it to note that even if they don't find him guilty, he crossed the line. Many times on home grow, we have one guy who's holding the bill up. He is preventing this from being heard. That is too much power for one person in New Jersey, including our current Senate President. And that power should be put into check, no matter who it is, no matter what the issue is. But in this case, home cultivation is a canary in the mine. If we don't get Scutari to come around on this, and if this legislature doesn't deal with home cultivation as an issue, we are less democratic of a state. It is of issue to our democracy, as well as to our home cultivation rights. So that's where I'm at. That's where we're at. It sucks, but that's where we're at.
We do have options besides battling Scutari head on. We can reach out to Attorney General Matt Platkin for a stop order on prosecution. A few years back, when they passed the rec bill, the Attorney General issued a stop order on possession prosecutions. This is why they stopped arresting people, even though they technically still could. No one was going to jail for possession, even before the rec dispensaries were set up. We could ask the current Attorney General to do the same thing, except for with home cultivation, and ask him to stop prosecutions up to a specific number of plants, up to 99 plants. And this way, patients would be protected, and it would encourage the legislature to catch up and potentially move bills forward where they could regulate this, as opposed to it essentially being a form of decriminalized, where patients can do what they need. And as far as prosecution is concerned, it would really be off the table.
Hopefully. Well, so the stop order or the memo, this was, if folks remember before we passed the legalization law, by the way, if anybody in the room has Matt Plotkin's cell phone number, the Attorney General of New Jersey, we're looking for Matt Plotkin's cell phone number. You can just deliver it right here to the front table. The Attorney General of New Jersey, there was a previous Attorney General. His name was Kabir Grewal. He was a pretty amazing guy. Before we legalized marijuana in New Jersey, he issued a memo to all the prosecutors asking them to suspend prosecutions for possession and even dealing less than an ounce. And he had a whole list of offenses. I sent that by to you earlier. What we're asking for is the current Attorney General, Matt Platkin. Again, if you have Matt's cell phone number, just deliver it right here to the front table. We want the current Attorney General to issue the same kind of memo for home cultivation offenses. Police departments are prosecuting this. There are prosecutions happening today. And it wouldn't stop the arrests. It wouldn't stop the annoying police who go out and try and prosecute this stuff. But it would send a strong message to police if they stop prosecuting that they are wasting their time and resources. And that is something that you can call them on in city council meetings and in county freeholder meetings and say, you're wasting our money. So that's a very powerful tool as a taxpayer. So that would be nice. Again, if anybody has Matt Platkin's cell phone number, that's what we're looking for.
It can seem easy to think that home grow isn't really that important with a market that's booming and continually growing. But the fact is, there are some strains, there are some medicines that just aren't commercially viable. Not enough people in the room would enjoy smoking them. They don't have THC qualities or smells and tastes that people like. But they stop my seizures, or they help you continue to have your mobility, or they protect your future and change your quality of life. Maybe some of I'm going to let Tracy talk on it, but then I'd like her to pass it to some of the cultivators, so maybe they can explain why certain things aren't possible in New Jersey's market.
One of the things that I learned when I was trying to medicate myself is anything that you buy in the New Jersey dispensary, most of everything that I need, all the terpenes that I need, are not in any of the product. So I have to take a drive up to Maine and actually go to a cultivator in order to get the medicine that I need that will cover everything that I need.
And you also get an amazing lobster roll out of the trip, which is okay. All right. I've done the Maine drive like every month during the pandemic. Okay. Every single month I drove up to Maine, and it was like, all right, I'm making the drive. It's 6 hours up and 6 hours back. I'm going to do it in a day. I would just bust that drive out in a day, but I did it every month during the pandemic.
While you were making those drives, I was sitting on a corner in Belmar for like 5 hours with people driving by me, calling me crackheads and everything else, because the only dispensary available at that time was purely in Belmar.
Oh my God.
And during COVID, it was a 5-hour wait on a curb on the side of the road. I would bring my little chair and sit out there and wait, only to get up to the register, and then you would only have a certain allotment, and it's
for $55 an each, too. That's how much the price was.
Absolutely.
So wasn't that right? That was right about right. No breaks either.
For
it was,
shit
it,
weed.
it was like the
Excuse my
worst
French.
dealer you ever had in
Absolutely.
college. You know what I mean? It was like, I'm gonna sell you shake for $55 an eighth, no breaks. Sorry, you know, just gonna raise an eyebrow if you're like, and you know, I always tell them if they had a fronting system like a loan system, they'd probably make a lot of money at those places because I might have gone in and gotten a loan at $55 an eighth. I remember when I used to get like a $450 ounce fronted to me by my dealer in college. Holy cow!
Absolutely.
Curaleaf ain't gonna front you. Oh my god, dude!
I can even give samples.
You know, I wrote an article about Curaleaf and their associations with Russia. It's very funny. You know, it sucks when you buy a $55 eighth there. Like somebody in Russia laughs all the way to the bank.
100%.
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it? It's such a weird world. And then you go to the other place and it's like Congressman Matt Gates' like personal dispensary, like Trulieve. You know, anybody who buys a $60 eighth at Trulieve, you know, Wiz Khalifa's like branded eighth, Matt Gates gets a congressional donation. It's so weird, right? It's such a weird world. I call it dark, dank money in politics. That's what I'm calling it right now.
I call it my rabbit holes because I fall down one every day. Because
Oh,
once
it's
you
tough.
fall down one,
It's tough.
it's tough.
Yes. Yes.
As far as the quality of the cannabis in Maine, the standards are way higher there. That's one of the main reasons I came home. Being that from here, New Jersey always had the best cannabis in the world because we got the most money for it. We were able to give people like him $450 ounces, $500 ounces when I was younger. And thank God when I went to Maine, the 99 plant law was a thing because the cops did kick in my door when I was there for growing cannabis. They did put me in handcuffs until I bled. I've been a sufferer of PTSD from experiences like that. And cannabis is the only thing that's helped me from that. And there are good companies here now, like Brighter Side, that you can get those terpenes from. Thank God. They are organic. They don't put any pesticides on the plant. I went in their garden myself and helped them amend the soil. It is good practice there. Thankfully, you don't have to go to Maine for that anymore. You can go right to my store.
How much is it? How much is it?
For,
You're on the
for,
price
for
tag.
most of the industry, it's 75, but I charge 65 at my store
For how much?
for an eighth.
An eighth?
Yeah.
Oh my god, dude! Seriously, I'm a writer. $65 an eighth. I can't afford it. I can't.
I'm sorry you can't, but I do have $30 eighths as well.
Okay, but that's the thing. Like, that's the thing.
For you that needs that, I got you at $30.
No, I
Two
hear
for
that.
40.
I hear that.
Honey Grove got you.
I hear
We're
that.
not like
I hear that. I hear that. No, I hear that. But that's it's like do I want to feed my family the Monsanto like pesticide covered stuff?
I
for
do not
years?
have Curaleaf. There is no
No.
Monsantos in my store, my friend.
Good. I'm glad. And you know
But
where I'm
even
at is
regardless of what the quality is, like Chris was going to point out, the price is still different state to state. And as a patient, you guys can have the best product you want, but you're never going to customize the strain just for me as a medical patient. So you guys can't physically carry every strain that exists as a medical dispenser.
It's impossible, even as a cultivator for when I grow for people and for patients. Especially, you only have so much space in your garden. You can't grow every kind of plant, and also every kind of plant doesn't produce the way it needs to, especially when these people have to spend millions of dollars to have a cultivation. Brighter Side has 3 people working. It's him, his wife, and his mother-in-law. So for them to get that right now, I'm happy to help them get that. It's 3 people, it's a family, and they paid millions of dollars to have it grow. And it sucks that people have to pay millions of dollars to be able to grow cannabis. It doesn't make fucking sense. It doesn't make fucking sense.
And that's why we shouldn't have the barriers to entry. Because if we had home grow, the biggest barrier to entry is the start of your equipment, start of your cultivation equipment. And right now, we even have activists that are going around collecting used cultivation equipment from the cannabis industry and saving it for when patients are ready for home grow. Second, we pass the laws. We have lights ready. We have tents ready. So anybody who works cultivation or happens to be growing vegetables at their house that's ready to trade things out, don't throw it out. Make sure it goes to a good home and helps a new patient. So would you be able to talk about what it takes for patients to start growing or why caretakers are important? Can everybody just grow? Is it easy?
Well, that's the thing. Everybody thinks it's easy to grow. I mean, everybody can grow, but it's just hard to grow good. That's the issue. They're waiting for it.
Oh, yeah. Too about that.
Oh, yeah.
Well, as far as our industry is concerned, from an insider's perspective, everything everybody says saying up here is more than true. And the standards aren't what we want them to be. They're nowhere near. Think about the CRC, who I work with on a daily basis. It's a tiny little commission here in the state government. They can't.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Exactly.
If I can't go into a dispensary and smell what I'm going to use as medication, how do I know it's going to be good medication?
Wait. And I'm not, believe me, I'm not here to defend the commission at all. I just work with them. Here's what you need to understand. Again, I'm on your side more than you can imagine. Here's what you have to understand about how the commission functions. It's not the individual commissioners that are the problem. Everything starts with people like who you're concerned with. The commission is just at the lead. They just follow the orders from the people that grant them. There's a small group of people that is massively overworked. And they have a big step, but what did we do? We went from 16 dispensaries to 100 and whatever
No
in a
doubt.
matter of 3 years, and the commission didn't grow tenfold.
No doubt. But they
So-
are a commission instead of an agency, and that's the weird thing about it.
Exactly.
So-
So the individual commissioners are just trying to do their jobs the best they can.
Whichever ones that are left.
Exactly. But at the same time, by the legislation that it's granted to them, they just follow orders on an individual basis. If we want to make these changes, it's very fun. But if you think about the people that they get to be in those positions, we have to get organized, get focused, understand these things. Politicians care about two things and two things alone. Politicians care about two things alone. Votes, money. You can get whatever you want from them if you give them more votes or you give them more money. That's it. They don't care about anything else.
Actually, there's one more thing they care about. It's 2024. I hate to say it. They care about likes. Okay, there's money, there's votes, there's likes. In 2024, they care about likes. If you walk in and you have 6 million Instagram followers and you interview
Yeah, that's
Senator
votes.
Scutari, they
That's
care.
votes.
Really, it's likes in California. So,
Likes the votes.
well,
Yes.
politicians like to be
Bottom line
popular.
is, but through all this, this is what we need to do. Come up with a plan that allows them to get what they want while at the same time we get what we want. It is big time feasible to do that. There are power in numbers. There's power in unity. We don't find ourselves in a unified manner. We go in here with little splinter groups. 10 people here, 30 people there, that organization over there, that one over there. You think they care about that? No. But if we came in as 500,000 people, then they're going to be like, whoa, I need to sit down and talk to these people. Or if we said to them, guess what? This industry's pulling X amount of dollars for you. I figured out how to pull even more. You want to hear? Their ears will open up so fast you might swallow you inside their fucking brain. That's the key. That's what we're not doing. We're not doing it. And as a person with a business background, I teach economics, supply, demand, price. I'll tell you that.
I appreciate all that. I really do.
And that's
And
the point of the
I appreciate your
Homegrown
passion
Coalition.
about that too.
That's the entire point of the New Jersey Homegrown Coalition, and panels like this and joining together with all of these different nonprofits and organizations that have been out here fighting for our rights and doing the legwork for years and years, and being able to help them join up with people who are potentially able to get the likes that reflect the votes now and can navigate as things continue to change, partnering up with labs and with all of these groups, getting the voices united. So when we do have that informational hearing, it's staffed with educated, competent professionals that they can't continue to write off as just stoners anymore. I think it's been a long time since most people in this room have been just a stoner. Everyone has to educate themselves because we're really lacking education across the board. And I think that's reflected in the difference in the types of courses we see in New Jersey versus other states. And I think things like that drive the markets and inform the politicians. And New Jersey is focused on business. New Jersey is focused on playing insider games with each other and saving face. New Jersey doesn't have a focus on the medical program. And New Jersey doesn't have a focus on the patient. The doctors can't tell you, often the butt tenders can't tell you. They're not allowed to provide medical advice, even if you are educated. We need the places in between.
When I go into the emergency room, I can't even let them know that that's what my medical, what I am required. I can't even let them know because then I will be kicked off of my insurance. And that's disgusting.
I have a best friend who got paralyzed, and the only thing that helps him is RSO, and he's in a state facility, and he cannot let them know he's on RSO, and I have to sneak it to him, and it's appalling. It's appalling.
It's funny. I had right around the corner from here. I broke my leg really bad, and I was at Virtua Wardens, and they put me in the joint replacement unit because I had to go in twice for surgery. And I was telling Andrea about this. I had a bottle of tincture like that big on my table next to my bed, and it had a big marijuana leaf on it. And I evangelized this therapy to anybody who walked into my room, every nurse, every doctor. I also didn't take OxyContin the entire time. I managed to make it with tincture and shredding. So, but nobody batted an eye. Nobody threatened to kick me off insurance. Nobody threatened to do anything. I think that, unfortunately, that's what's weird about the experience that everybody has. There is no standard.
Very different
You know what I mean?
experience because
There's
I know
no standard.
I wouldn't even be allowed to take the sublinguals that can stop my seizures while they're happening. My only choice, if I were to go into a hospital, I could be forced into brain surgery without my consent because that is what the doctors define as the next step for me. I'm over 6 years off pharmaceuticals, and I just need proper access to the medicine because consistent access is important. Going into the dispensary and not knowing what strain you're going to get or not knowing if you're going to say the same strain twice is risky. Imagine going to the pharmacy and getting Xanax in your Adderall bottle. You might have a different kind of day than you were expecting. Or if you were expecting medicine for your heart condition and instead got opiates, you might not be fortunate enough to figure out what happened. It's too late. The same problems can happen with cannabis. The only solution is to be able to see what's happening from seed to smoke. And that the only way I can do that is with homegrown. So I would like to just run down the panel one last time, starting with Paco down at the other end. And I would like to ask everybody to just talk about, real quick, why homegrown is so important before we give everybody in the audience a chance to ask any questions they have and tell them how they can help.
Well, honestly, being able to cultivate my own medication, personal level, something that's very rewarding, I guess you could say. I was able to make my own medication, process it, and to make it affordable for myself, and the cost of living. It's not easy, not cheap. You need to medicate. opiates. I still take medication. Awesome for
I'm sure you have a question too.
Hey, buddy. It's not really what I'm trying to stick on. It's like really simple. It's like then I can do what I need to do. Not drove right past your house. That better call me, like, there.
Any final thoughts on the biggest difference? I know you touched on affordability before. What do you think the biggest change home grow would make for patients in New Jersey?
It's not just for patients. I do think it would affect the industry. I do think that patients, like generally, if people have the ability to home grow, there's like language that's available to them that is more valuable to them as a consumer of the dispensary too. They'll know more about the plan just by having the ability to home grow. Like the absolute prohibition on it here in New Jersey is a complete injustice. And again, I think it's an ethics violation on the part of the current Senate president to hold it up. So it's important to me because I want to grow cannabis at my house, and he's not going to grow. But also, it's important to me because at this point, I think it's important for New Jersey generally. We let one person hold up on cultivation in New Jersey the way Scutari has. That's a bad thing for democracy in New Jersey. It's a bad thing overall. And with the surrounding states do it, and honestly, it would be the saddest, right, if federal reform happened and allowed home grow before New Jersey legalized it, right? We don't want that day to happen, and I'm working on federal reform too. It's scary to think that New Jersey would be a holdout as well. So yeah, I think it's critically important, not just for my ability to afford more weed, but it's also critically important for the state to get on with this.
Interning at New Jersey Business Cannabis Association has been great. Working with people and members of the community, hearing their problems, coming together, really has opened my eyes to how much this industry needs to come together and be the leading industry on fixing the problems we are having and breaking down those restrictions that are, really difficult for a lot of people, not just patients, but retailers, cultivators, manufacturers. So I think, it's really important to keep coming together, keep having these events, keep using our voices so that they are heard, so we can have the change that we want to see.
Thank you. My roots in this industry are in the medical industry, but I've also continue to work on the other side. One of the areas that we touch on that we might want to eventually is how our position is in the whole medical community amongst doctors and nurses and medical training and medical schools to get cannabis involved, whereas clinicians can start thinking of cannabis as something they can work with versus a signed drug. In order to do that, we need to get the respect of the medical community, which we at the Maryland School are trying to do, through the pharmacy department, which makes it more difficult because we can be the pharmaceutical industry's number one enemy. At the same time, though, we can also gain the level of respect that we need so that there can be another push for us that's coming from medical professionals, which will help us. That's an area where we might want to do simple things, like take certain innovative strains, whatever you want to call them, and make them strictly medical. That's it. Once this thing hits the market, it doesn't have a retail side, it's strictly medical. The other thing we need to do to help convince the medical world that we're serious is to change the names how we relate to our medicine. There isn't going to be a doctor in the world who's going to be able to, who wants to write a prescription for tutti frutti. It's just not.
Not necessarily in New Jersey, but in other states where they do treat the cannabis that they've determined as medicine, where they treat it like medicine. Absolutely, doctors can make recommendations on different strains. There are doctors and patient collectives is usually how it's run too, where
That gives us an extra level of respect.
I agree that we should, and that's the importance too of understanding strain specifics because different strains have different effects, and when you're cultivating on a large scale, especially for a recreational market, those finite differences don't necessarily matter to the end consumer. But for someone like me who's making a rescue medicine for epilepsy, I need to make sure it's the exact same genetics every time, not a different pheno. I need to be able to find the proper pheno and keep the clones. And I think the lack of education, like you mentioned with doctors, I've met doctors that don't know the endocannabinoid system exists. And I think Tracy would be the perfect time to actually hear your thoughts on what Homegrow can do for patients and make that education.
I mean, I guess that's why I'm here today, because I truly believe that there are patients who need medicine, and they need good medicine, and they need it to be consistent medicine. What they take today is what they're taking tomorrow, and our lives really do depend on that. So this is so important, these kind of talks, and we're getting it out there, because I truly believe that the stigma is still so real. And I think that the only way to break down that stigma is through education. Just to throw it out there, my partners and I are starting a cannabis helpline, something where we can actually have people either email us or text us, ask a question. Within 48 hours, somebody gets back to you on that answer. So if you are going to go into the dispensary for your first time and you have anxiety, or you're scared because you've never been in a situation like this, you have a question, I can answer that question for you. I can tell you what to expect when you go into the dispensary. Make sure that you have your license out. That way you're not fumbling, all those type of things that we take for granted, maybe because we've been there, we've done it. But when you have a senior citizen who is scared to death to take something, they don't know what they're taking, but their friend, their neighbor, somebody has said to them, oh, or maybe even their doctor, you should try THC, you should try cannabis, but we really don't know how to tell you how to do that. So I think that the helpline is definitely going to be something that is going to be very useful to all New Jersey, and then maybe, hopefully, it'll be across the country.
I'm very excited to be working with that hotline too. And I think it's not just for new customers. In my experience as a patient, there are plenty of times I've hit paywalls with research, or hit dead ends where I don't have access because I'm not a professor, or I'm not a legislator, or I don't understand how to read legalese in every sense. So being able to ask a lawyer who's proficient in cannabis law to translate, or being able to ask, hey, can you explain my municipal codes, because they kind of sound like gibberish. Any form of question about cannabis or the cannabis industry, you'll receive a peer-reviewed answer by people who actually have lived this, are working this, know what they're doing. And I'd like to kick it over to Big Dave for his final thoughts on how.
So I can tell you from my own experience, as someone who's lived on both sides of this and had the experience to grow medically, and had the experience to see suppression by the police, had the experience to now be talking to most of the owners of the companies that have been we need this, because there isn't even a real RSO here besides one company. How can there be real RSO when there's a medical side of the industry? How can only one company or two companies be making real medicine? And there's no standard to hold them to that. That's why, not everybody can grow good cannabis. Everyone's growing cannabis in Maine who wants to. There's very few people that can make it to grow good cannabis. But if you want to grow medicine for yourself, who is who to stop you? You could make beer in your basement that makes you dumb. You can't grow a plant that heals you. And I'm very grateful for you, because when I first got here, I was scared to feed myself. I finally got to a point where I was shaking a hand with a mayor instead of being put in the back of a police truck for healing people. Andrea helped me fight for what's right, and now my own company stands behind me. I'm so grateful for it. I'm going to stand with me. I want to partner with both of you. I'm very grateful for what you're doing. I'm happy to be here today. Hopefully, we can help the way. I don't think it's about making fun of people or attacking anyone. It's about educating them, to teach them what they're doing wrong and show them how we can fix it. That's the way. Through positivity and uniting is the way we do this. Not through attacking anybody. We won't get anywhere. We'll be right where we started.
That's exactly the spirit of the Homegrown Coalition, is actually trying to unite and trying to educate and trying to change the tide, because for too long we've all been divided. And a lot of these legislators do not know the reality of cannabis. And a lot of the people on this panel can attest that they might not have grown up with such an open perspective. I know I was definitely a dare kid. I was anti-weed growing up, and my parents would have preferred I stayed that way, I'm sure. But unfortunately, a lot of times people only realize cannabis is medicine when they need to, or when someone they love needs to. It's treated like a last resort, but it should be a fair option, a fair choice. We need fair access. And like Dave was saying, we need change. Like everyone here was saying, we need change. And we might not be able to get through to a single stubborn person, but I bet you can get through to your district legislator. You can come over to the table and we can help you figure out who they are, and one by one we can pick them off. One by one we can win it. If that stubborn person says there's no will in the Senate, and right now we already have 10 co-sponsors, I bet there are people here from all over the state. It takes 2 seconds to send the email. It's even pre-written. See if you can get your district. Challenge yourself to that. When you say, what can I do for the patients? Because we're not allowed to give free weed. We're not allowed to grow warm. We're not allowed to be caretakers. You can come right over to this table and you can sign the petition. You can send the email. You can sign up for the weekly meetings that we have online and join whenever you can and make your voice heard as to what do you think we can do to get this message out? What do you think we can do to educate people? Because we need a variety of voices. It can't always be the same few people speaking. And slowly, we're chipping away at it. We're going to have more and more people every time, and we'd love for you to be one of them. So make sure you come over and stop at the Homegrown table for some education. And make sure you stop by the Dab Bar and check out the wonderful prize that's being raffled off. All of the proceeds for that are also going to Homegrown in New Jersey. So the tickets are at the front, the prize is at the back. Be sure to ask Dirty Gang Jersey what that is. And I want to give one last thank you to everyone who's on the panel and everyone who took the time to listen. And
Where's
took the
that
time to care. I know they got you out here saying free food and free food, but it's time to free the plant. It's time to have for patients and canopy for caretakers. And if you can take 2 seconds to send a text message, it'll take 2 seconds to try and get your district on board and see if we can finally get this done.
It's live.
Thank you.
All right. Let's do it. Let's switch it out.
I got up this morning, everything else is aggravation. Yes.
Oh, good.
Yes.
Still there. You can't hear it. You only hear us through the headphones, but he was popped up, and it was a really good panel. We have a few things we'd like to add to this. right? Yeah. Yeah, we're good. There's almost there's no tension. You can't really see it. Like it. They pretty much again say peace. Unity. Drug peace. No drug war. But hey, listen. We are at the union hall. Yeah, I have a seat. Put it all over there. I know. How cool would that be? Yeah. A little confusing too. Well, you know what would happen? All of a sudden, union guys would have like been protesting this union. That's great. You would have gotten you fired. Oh, man. Yeah, Chris, what's the guy's name of the compliance? Is it compliance? Michael. Michael. I want to speak to Mike. I need to speak to Michael about it. Hey, Chris, can you do me a favor? Can you ask Michael that we'd like to speak to him, please? I want to know about that. No, that is Mike here. I got an extra mic. I hope it works. All right. I love live radio. Here at the UFCW Union Hall here in West Berlin. You know what's so crazy? You know, I do the investigative journalism, and somebody reached out to me yesterday about a story here in West Berlin, New Jersey, that I'm going to be working on after I leave here, where they found that the mayor of West Berlin was at this little store buying big stacks and stacks of lottery tickets. Why would the mayor and the chief of police of West Berlin be buying big stacks and stacks of lottery tickets? Give away to somebody. Something like that. Right before an election. Sounds shady. Yeah, it smells a little fishy there. It smells fishy. Like the rest of our government lately. Well, the room is crowded. I mean, we probably have about 120 people here at the Union Hall. At Short Grow LLC, you have Trichome Analytical, you have Jersey Coalition for Medical Marijuana, you have all kinds of vendors that are giving free dabs. Amazing. Yeah, it's an interesting event. I don't think I've ever been to a free dab event where they didn't charge $1. Yeah. Nope. You walk right in. You eat, you dab, and you can eating. Wow. Wow. Yes. Yes. For the event, I mean, free dabs, free food, yeah, and people smoking pot together. You have to say they put together a pretty good event. Yeah, host the show for a minute. I'm gonna try to get some audio through the speakers. Yeah, no problem. Well, you know, to make this happen, a person at the Union Hall after that panel, I would like to say to the panel, one thing they did is we can change this home grow law through lawsuit, and that's what I plan to do. There's a human file lawsuit against the CRC and the Attorney General, so we can get the home grow bill passed or force it to be passed. So, got a lot of cool people here. My man Afro Mike is here.
This is how union hoopers were back in the day.
Yeah, correct. This is the old way a union hall used to be, except it was cocaine everywhere. And hookers. Sorry.
I'm in the States in union, so that's probably what goes on in my state.
Yeah.
And like we had like
there's nothing wrong with that. But we don't really want to fill this with cocaine. So it's not your typical union hall. It's a lot of cannabis. Dabs. I see dab rigs being cleaned out left and right. How you doing? Are you able to answer questions about compliance?
Hey, just to bring everybody's attention real quick, we have a raffle over here. 100% of the proceeds I'm donating to NJ Homegrow Initiative. We have a Humboldt humidor. It's a hand-built mahogany device. It comes out of South Park, Colorado at Rosenthal. Got the Aero fanny pack, $5 tickets, get 3 for $10. We're calling it at
Hey,
around
Mike.
5:45, 6 o'clock.
How are you? This might help you. Can't hear.
Are you gonna go? You can go.
Okay. Good. Yeah, that's what we need to do.
Okay. Well, he wanted to ask questions first as this young man.
Yeah, I just want to ask about compliance.
Okay.
You deal with compliance. You want to come sit down, or you
Yeah,
just stand? Okay, sure. Thank you.
I'm still advocating for civil disobedience. Okay, just fucking go. Look,
Wait a minute.
who cares?
Wait a minute.
Nobody cares that you plant
I don't
your
know if I
house.
should have brought that up.
Somebody should have.
Nope, nothing.
Hey, what's up, guys?
What are we waiting for?
I didn't get to go.
Except behind what you just said, but I don't like to bring it up.
Why?
Because
Still in pain. We're still live. Actually, we're live, and we're not at all. Just
it does. And
No,
you're right.
we're trying to put together some and it's like, well, if you come back, I'd like to interview you guys. 'Cause you always got something going on. Nice. All right, well, let's talk about that. Michael's over here. Just come over here in front of the table. I can see you. This is crazy. I love live radio too.
Look,
There, I can see you.
No, look.
Okay, here we go.
I'm going to show you the glass
Oh,
tip
okay,
pre-rolls
this
that
is,
are all
now what is this? Tell me what this is here. Hi. Who are you? What are you doing here?
I'm Marjorie. I'm with Just the Woman Cannabis. And we are doing pre-rolls that will be out to market Q1 that are all cannabis. So every bit of it is natural, a rose, a lotus, goji berry, or hemp. No pesticides, 100% organic.
Very cool.
Glass tip.
That's
Very
my
cool.
You can never do whatever I want.
This is our. It's got a nice glass tip. It's a lotus. And we're going to fill it with a hybrid blend of cannabis.
That's lovely. That is lovely. I love it.
And so we're very excited to come to market and offer something that's more organic compared to what's out there.
Right.
Using the terpenes of the flowers to show that there are other things that we can blend into our body that are healthy, to show the full medicine of the plant as well as
Very cool. Is there a website or we?
Yes, it's justwomancannabis.com.
JustAWomanCannabis.com.
Simple as that.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. That's good stuff. Okay. Are these for me? Okay, I'm just saying kind of sticker.
Show them off.
I like the stickers.
Thank you. Well, it's
Thank
good
you.
to see you.
Great to see you again.
All right.
I was in so much pain at that last event. I was like,
And what did I tell you?
I know.
What did I tell you?
I had to go in my car and lay down. I just had to lay down for a while. I come back and I would lay down. It's just like,
We're
yeah.
going to talk and I'm going to help you and we're going to get some Pepsi.
Okay. Oh, yeah, he can hold one. I don't do it. Very bad. My wife is good with that.
We're going to make it. Every time I see you, I'll just keep yelling at you.
Yes, please. I need that. Same here.
I know you got an interview.
Yes, Michael, how are you?
Good.
Might help with the headphone. Let's see, there we go. Is that better? Yes. Okay, just speak right into that. Can you hear yourself?
Yes.
Okay. So you work with the CRC on a lot of compliance.
Yes.
So my question is, and I've spoken to the CRC about it, how do we? This industry was built on the backs of sick, dying, and disabled people, and we need to be patient focused. And there's a lot of dispensaries that are opening up without wheelchairs. How do we get these dispensaries to become compliant with I guess it's not the ADA because the ADA allows older businesses to be grandfathered in. But the CRC deals with so much minutia of all this stuff, and it's ableism that needs to be eradicated. And if you can eliminate ableism, let's do it. And there seems to be no will to do that. I don't understand what the disconnect is.
And I'm just, by working with the CRC, I see what they go through and deal with on a regular basis. And I see from where they have their authority to do what they've been rocket science to do. And it's a difficult task.
Yeah.
And a good portion of it, even though we have regulations and laws, they're extremely gray. So there's a ton of interpretation. And what happens is, like most things do on a human basis, two of us can have the same exact position in the CRC. We're both inspectors. We both have the same training, the same test. You'll go to the same situation. You may see it totally different than I do. And because the rule is so gray, it's up to our individual interpretation. Like, I could remedy something or come through with a finding, and that becomes the rule for that individual dispensary at that particular time. It could be the same exact issue at another dispensary where you have a rule based on your opinion, and they're complete opposite. It's the gray area that makes it so difficult, but then at the same time, we don't want them over legislating to the point where they become so rule focused that you can't come as business. So it's a fine line. It's a line that the CRC plays. It's a line that the companies in the industry play. It's unfortunate that the medical side of the industry, to be totally honest with you, from a business perspective, gets turned down. Because you have people, there is a good portion of people in this industry that don't have the medical background. To them, it's a business, it's a money-making vehicle, and that's the way they see it. And so profitability becomes the driving force versus patient care.
So, is there any way to push the CRC to do this? Because I know it's not ADA; it's more than the ADA. It's about more minutia. We need more minutia. And if wheelchair access to the front door is minutia, let's make it that. Because I've seen how dispensaries have to deal with a lot of stuff.
Yeah,
a lot of different rules, a lot of crazy rules, but I understand why they have them.
Yes.
Except wheelchair access to the front door.
Yes, and issues, again, from the perspective of business. The issues that we want to present, we have to do it from the standpoint where it is.
Yes.
If there's a dispensary that isn't compliant the way you want it for wheelchair access, you, your friends, your family, everybody,
We need donations for
and then make them aware of the fact that the reason why there's been a change in their revenue is because we are asking them
discussion will center on the science, medical services,
and then once they put in what we're asking for, then we will encourage people to go there. Versus the spirit of yeah, there's two things. Again, my business background is always on my shoulders saying, what are these people thinking?
Well, we have 50 grams of space. The thing is, Bayonne is an urban enterprise. So you have people in wheelchairs that can't get the same tax breaks as able-bodied people because they can't get into those buildings. That's an equal opportunity.
Yeah.
And it's like, you talk about that, people are like, oh, that's crazy, but let's talk
Again, I'm trying to be totally honest with everybody without sounding like it's money. Yeah. I'm sorry, I teach engineering. I want your system.
Before we take a deep dive,
their bottom line, you can their bottom line. You can do it in a positive way. There's a dispensary out there that is conformed to everything you want. Everything. And you let it be known that, hey, everybody, these people are with us. Don't go to that one. Come to this one. You know, don't make money for somebody who's not on the same ship as you. Bring it here. Reward people for doing the right thing. We don't do that.
Not enough.
No, we try to punishing. Yes, punish them when we can, as we need to. But also at the same time, don't forget about rewards. That'll get you what you want, because then they'll continue to do it. And then their counterpart, their person, will see the same thing and go, oh, maybe I need to put in a ramp now because his revenue went up 20% when he got the ramp. Mine went down 5% because I didn't have it. See, I have the economics degree on one side saying things, and then I have the cannabis degree on the other side. There's a happy medium where they both relate, get what we want. But you're not going to beat their economic incentives. Just you know?
Making sure the folks are able to.
Sure. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Have a great one.
You too.
Resilience and sustainability of the workforce. So it's really important that folks have access to their medicine,
to be able to get it as a benefit. And that's what Canada Coverage and the rest of our team is committed to doing. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, Jeff. And Molly, please introduce yourself.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Molly Stanton. I'm with Business Development at Envia. Envia is the first company to make psychedelic-assisted therapy available as an employee benefit, an employee mental health benefit, starting with ketamine-assisted therapy. Ketamine is an FDA-approved medication. It is completely legal in all 50 states, and it can be made available once again as an employee benefit. Thank you.
Thank you, panelists. And I'm Gaetano Lardieri, cannabis and psychedelics research consultant. So let's now focus on the science and medicine of psychedelics. My first question is for Dr. Hinson. What is it about psychedelics that make them such powerful therapeutics?
It's because they target areas that current medications don't. Space. We've had issues with depression and anxiety, PTSD, and therapeutic regimen for these states pretty much stagnant for the past several decades. And so psychedelics now allow for therapies which actually work and don't carry a black box warning of increased suicidality like SSRIs and SNRIs. And the reason why I'm able to accomplish this is because that she gets to the root of the problem and helps her rewire some of the pathologic neural circuits that's attributed to states of depression and anxiety and substance abuse. I mean, down to a biochemical mechanism, they discovered that they actually help to produce new neurons and new synapses, which are the ways that the brain communicates. The current medications that we have on the market don't tap into that at all. And so it's no surprise that what we have naturally is far more powerful than any pharmaceutical drug that we have on the market.
Correct. So, and Dr. Hinson, what areas of medicine would psychedelics be of greatest benefit?
So yeah, like I just said, the greatest benefit would be the neuropsychiatric part. But that's just to start. I think the more we learn about chronic disease and the more we learn about disease, the more we'll see a need for psychedelics. For example, outside of depression, outside of PTSD, and substance abuse, virtually every disease today has this psychogenic component. When you consider obesity, a lot of people have a compulsive disorder that forces them to eat. That could be at least somewhat attenuated by the psychedelics. People who have a difficult time adhering to a particular diet or medication regimen, those are patterns, those are behaviors that have to be learned. And many of us who have these issues, obesity, high blood pressure, diabetes, high cholesterol, we develop that because of years of bad habits. Those are very difficult to overcome. When done correctly, psychedelic assisted therapy is able to again rewire those pathologic pathways. Now you're able to beneficial.
And what are some of the potential dangers of using psychedelics, and how can they be mitigated?
Well, I mean, with anything has a risk and benefit. It's really about if the benefits outweigh the risks. What's interesting, though, is that the psychedelics really carry minimal risk, especially when you compare them to most of the pharmacologic agents for mental health disease, substance abuse, right? When you consider the standard of care for substance abuse, say opiate addiction, for example, it's methadone, it's Suboxone. So here we are treating an opiate addiction with more opiates. It doesn't make sense. And methadone, even though it's supposed to be the standard of care, it's supposed to be a safer option, still results in having 3,000 deaths per year. I haven't heard of anyone dying from psilocybin mushrooms directly, right? Cannabis directly. So, I mean, we have
again, they're far more powerful therapeutics, and they have such a lesser adverse event profile. But some of them do carry more severe adverse effects. We consider the addictive potential of some of the psychedelics like MDMA. That may be one of the reasons why. Maybe one of the reasons why the FDA didn't want to pass it this go around. But the addictive potential is still substantially less than a lot of the pharmacologic agents that we have on the market. All right, probably the one that has the greatest adverse effects or potential adverse effect is a psychedelic called Iboga. You may have heard of Ibogaine. Ibogaine is being used to help cure opiate addiction, not manage, cure opiate addiction without the withdrawal symptoms. That carries a higher risk for cardiotoxicity and lethal arrhythmia. People have died from this, but that can be easily mitigated by proper screening, monitoring, and dosing. We look at the reasons why people die from Ibogaine. It's because they already came in with medications that further put them at risk, or the dose was at a different level.
I appreciate it.
Right. So when done correctly, dosed correctly, monitored correctly, and screened correctly, the risk is minimal.
I'm busy doing this.
And
I'm
what would be
looking
the
at it
biggest
once in a while.
barrier limiting the medical use of psychedelics?
Ignorance.
You know what's funny? Whenever the UFCW has an event, it's always a
Ignorant
UFC
politicians.
fight. It's always Saturday. It's like UFC,
A profit-driven sick care system, right? Because they get profit over people who need well. They need sick people to sell their products too. And so they much rather give you a medication that only manages it rather than give you something that's potentially curative, right? And then they certainly don't want us to learn and to be able to grow our own medicine, right? Because if you can grow your own medicine, then there's no need to buy someone else's. So,
And specifically, is ketamine and ketamine-assisted therapy, or CAT, safe and effective when administered under credentialed, licensed professionals in a conducive setting?
absolutely, absolutely. So ketamine is actually not a psychedelic, technically, right? So it's marketed as a dissociative anesthetic, so it's an anesthesia medication. But at sub-anesthetic doses, it has these psychedelic properties, right? They've been used in conjunction with therapy to manage refractory depression, PTSD, and refractory chronic pain, with, again, very minimal risk. And the only problem is that it's really only accessible to those who can afford it, right? It's it can be quite costly, and so if we can find ways to reduce those costs by subsidizing it through different creative insurance methods, I think we can increase accessibility to people who will certainly benefit from it.
Yeah, and you mentioned this just a second ago. Can ketamine be used effectively to address pain? Is there evidence and/or studies that show that workers can recover faster with ketamine when used to address pain, as opposed to opioids and other drugs?
Yeah, so I don't know if anything has been done that specifically looked at workers recovering faster compared to opiates. I believe that's the case. But there's a number of studies that have demonstrated the efficacy of ketamine for pain reduction. In fact, there was a systematic review, which is a compilation of a number of different studies that looked at randomized controlled trials, which is the best type of study design. And he found that ketamine-assisted therapy was, in fact, beneficial for reducing chronic pain. And in fact, the majority of the patients who received these infusions were in remission for the 12 years after the treatment stopped. So, I mean, there's immense potential for ketamine-assisted therapy, and that's just the beginning. Again, I'm glad that New Jersey passed the psilocybin bill. That's a step in the right direction. But, once we get to the point where these natural therapeutics are descheduled, and then I think we'll see a complete transformation in how we approach and the impact of this whole crisis.
Oh, great. Thank you, Dr. Hinson. Jeff, Canada Coverage and Future Antigenic Medicines have combined efforts to bring together a first-of-its-kind model and ecosystem that bridges and brings together insurance with providers and employers to bring on medical cannabis and psychedelics as an employee benefit. Please explain how that model works and the process involved if an employer or an employee is interested in bringing a medical cannabis and or psychedelics as an employee benefit.
Thank you, Ms. This is obviously a very important conversation. One of the things that has hindered the advancement of this kind of therapy and of these products in the population is the difficulty in getting affordable access to cannabis and affordable medicinal cannabis and affordable access to ketamine and assisted therapy and psychedelics. One of the things that we have done is partner with organizations like Innovative to provide access to ketamine assisted therapy as an actual employee benefit via your employer. We have been in contact with many employer organizations. We have been able to work to create programs that actually have these benefits that can be administered through your employee benefit program. You'll be hearing about in the next week or so that a major municipality here in the state of New Jersey, a major city, is offering medicinal cannabis to their employees as an employee benefit. That is happening, and you're going to hear about it next week or so. Okay? And Canada Coverage was part of the team that made that happen. We have partnered with organizations to bring those benefits forward, and you're going to hear a lot more about ketamine assisted therapy via our coordination and partnership with the offering ketamine therapy to employers, to the employees. Really, really critical. One of the main reasons why we have not seen the more rapid lessening of the stigma around cannabis and around ketamine and those types of therapies is because it's not looked at the same way that other medicine is looked at. And it should be. Cannabis was a medicine first, right? That's what it was. That's what it is for so many. And we heard earlier on the earlier panel, the lack of support for home growth for patients is unfortunate. And there are a lot of reasons for it, as we heard. We won't go over that again. But it's terribly unfortunate that we have people suffering in the state, not able to get access or ready access to their medicine in the way that they should be able to. Home growth should happen. Save from providing insurance services and other benefits to cannabis businesses. That home grow is not going to have a negative effect on businesses here, on legal cannabis companies here in the state. It's not. Okay. It's kind of like saying folks who may be opening a craft brewery or something like that is going to put Budweiser out of business, or it is going to hurt Anheuser-Busch, right? It's not true. And we know this to be the case, and it's really, really important that we work together with partners and with cities and municipalities and public entities, and also, even more so, cannabis business employers should be offering medicinal cannabis to their employees as an employee benefit and the other medicine. And the industry needs to lead the way on that, right? Cannabis employers should be leading the way on that, bringing that benefit to their employees. An organization like ours in Canada Coverage can help you do that.
Thank you, Jeff. And we're looking forward to that first municipality to come online. So, Jeff, New Jersey's spending on healthcare is up. Employers spent more than $7,900 per person on healthcare in 2021, which is 15% higher than the national average. Mental health benefits are right up there with telemedicine, vision, and dental benefits that people want and are asking for. Psychedelics are being very well researched at prestigious institutions and are very popular as a safe and alternative treatment modality. Take a few minutes and explain to our audience how bringing on medical cannabis or psychedelics, in particular ketamine-assisted therapy, can positively contribute to the bottom line of an employers for health outcomes and how the state of New Jersey can benefit?
Absolutely. As a 30-year insurance professional, which is what I am, I've worked with very large organizations, thousands of employees, down to a handful of employees. So I know how employee benefits programs are constructed, right, and how they operate and how they work. So I understand, my organization, our company understands how important it is to provide quality care, be able to, or access to quality care, and be able to deliver that in the most cost-effective way. What we have in many cases right now is we have a system around healthcare that doesn't reward or drive activity to more healthy behavior, which would then bring the cost of overall health. There are studies out now that show that in markets and scenarios where medicinal cannabis and cat therapy is available, the cost of the overall health plan is significantly less than when those programs are not being employed. So, really, really important because we have to keep in mind that it's quality of care, right? In addition to being able to drive healthcare costs down. Healthcare costs are spiraling out of control. We see it with our clients. Every year is 10, 15, 20%, 25% increase in a company's premium. That is not sustainable. What are we going to do about it, right? What we have to do is to find better ways to deliver more quality care that is more cost effective, but more importantly, it's going to provide the kind of health outcomes that will provide a better quality of life for employees, while also driving down the cost of care as far as the entire organization is concerned.
Thank you, Jeff. Molly, as I mentioned earlier, psychedelics have been used for millennia for healing. One survey study of autistic adults I recently came across, researchers showed in a survey that autistic adults who use psychedelics had 82% said their psychological distress was reduced. More specifically, for ketamine and ketamine-assisted therapy, there was a case study where Dr. Bronner's Magic Soaps brought on ketamine-assisted therapy as an employee benefit, and for those employees who took advantage of the CAT benefit, 86% saw improvement in PTSD. And Thea was involved with the Dr. Bronner's case study. Can you provide a few more details on that study?
Absolutely. So for those of you that aren't familiar, first of all, Dr. Bronner's is one of the largest selling natural soap companies in all of North America. So you can go to Target, Walmart, it's a very known product. And the leadership team at Dr. Bronner's are advocates of psychedelic therapies, the owners, the brothers. And they stood up during the Christmas party, which is not your normal Christmas party, and told them, we are going to be the first company to make psychedelic-assisted therapy available for those of you who are suffering, those of you who have tried medications, those of you who gone through talk therapy. We are going to make ketamine-assisted therapy available to each and every one of you. And because the owners of the company, once again, one of the largest soap companies of natural soaps in North America, stood up and told them that, then the employees felt comfortable. They felt like, wow, this is something I should pay attention to. So out of the population, 7% partook in ketamine-assisted therapy through the company that I'm with, Envia. Envia is the first health plan administrator that partnered with a major company like that. And some of the results that came out of that study were quite remarkable. So we saw an 86% improvement in PTSD, 67% improvement in generalized anxiety disorder, 65% improvement in depression symptoms. So that's not something that your typical SSRI can touch. And out of that population, they checked in, so that's important. We want to make sure that the employees that have gone through these treatments are being touched. They are being checked in with. So just 3 months later, 80% of those that were on antidepressants were no longer on antidepressants. So I don't know about you guys, but that's huge. And this is something that the company made available, and they were pioneers. And now it's only exploded. We have more and more companies that are offering these types of therapies, and we're really excited to be here today.
Thank you, Molly. Molly, what are the benefits of ketamine-assisted therapy?
So the benefits of ketamine-assisted therapy are vast. they're coming out with more studies every day. So ketamine-assisted therapy has proven to help when all other courses of treatment have failed. So MD is really focusing on the treatment-resistant population. So those employees those members that have gone through various medications, dealt with the side effects, dealt with the numbing, dealt with the masking. They've tried talk therapy, which is not going to work for everyone. And what the benefits they're finding with ketamine-assisted therapy, and more studies are coming out every day, is that they help with treatment-resistant depression, major depressive disorder, PTSD, anxiety, pain, even postpartum depression. Ketamine itself is a dissociative, and it actually is also proven to have the ability to create a better relationship with yourself. Because, the world we live in, we have a lot of preconceived notions. We have, these thought patterns, these ruminating thought patterns, and ketamine is disrupting that. So a really good analogy is the snow globe analogy, for those of you that haven't heard it. Meaning that, you look at the snow falling like the ruminating thought patterns of people that are kind of stuck in that depressed state. And it's shaking up the world, meaning the snow globe analogy, it's shaking up the world so that when it's fall, you're looking at them in a whole different way of looking at things. And that's where, those changes take place, let alone the neuroplasticity, the scientific components of what ketamine does. But yes, it's helping in a lot of areas, also addiction. So substance use disorder is huge. We're in an opioid epidemic in this country, and this is something that's proven to help.
Right. And so, Molly, why should unions in particular be interested in ketamine-assisted therapy as an employee benefit?
Unions exist for their members, and each and every one of you is a member. And just like any employer, a union is going to look at what the best benefits are that can help their members. And through the members benefit package right now, your health insurance, you have access to mental health benefits. You have access to therapy. You have access to going to CVS and filling your prescription. So because certain populations, certain percentage of people, for instance, up to 60% of those that take antidepressants will not achieve an adequate response, it's important that a union looks at those figures, those stats, and says to themselves, what am I doing for that population? They are not going to respond, but here's something they can find relief from. So it's important to make these alternative therapies, these alternative forms of treatment. Ketamine is an FDA-approved medicine. It's legal. So it's something that's highly accessible right now. And because a company like Enthea is making sure all of the guardrails are in place, it's important that when you see something like ketamine-assisted therapy, that the provider that you're seeking treatment from is highly credentialed, they've gone through a rigorous process, that you are in safe hands, and that is what Enthea prides ourselves on. We've spent 2 years building out our nationwide network of highly credentialed providers. So it's important that a union, when they take that step forward to make this type of therapy available, that they know that their members are in safe hands, and that's where Enthea comes in.
Thank you. So we mentioned a few of these, like addiction, substance abuse, pain, but how about workers' comp? Ketamine with workers' comp cases.
So with workers' comp, just to back up, a lot of studies have proven that when you have an employee coming to work who is dealing with maybe substance use disorder, maybe they're highly depressed, they are not at full capacity, meaning they're not as productive as they can be. And because of that, studies have shown accidents are more likely to happen with that type of situation. Also, when a comorbidity is in place, an employee that may have diabetes and they're also dealing with treatment-resistant depression, they're a 4.5 times higher utilizer of healthcare. Well, when it comes to workers' comp, there's things that can happen that all kind of are related to that, related to your health, related to your mental health. And by getting a worker in an overall better mental health state, it's improving the workers' comp. It's improving the disability claims. A lot of workers' comp and disability claims can be, related to one's mental health. And then also, because ketamine-assisted therapy is getting one in a better mental health state, they're going to return to work faster. So they're not, kind of draining the claims process and having a longer recovery time. and also when it comes to pain management as well. Something we just touched on earlier, ketamine has proven to help with pain management. So that could also decrease a worker's comp claim longevity.
Excellent. And so, Molly, how would Anthea work with a broker or an employer to bring on ketamine-assisted therapy as an employer benefit? What does that process look like?
So when we are working directly with a broker or directly with an employer, we're looking at, okay, well, what are you offering right now to help with mental health? We kind of want to get a feel for what the company is providing to their members, to their employees, and then taking the overall picture. And also, if you have an employer, for instance, that's self-funded, we can easily see what those claims and the utilization looks like. But when it comes to a member in a union, we want to make sure that the union understands that offering Anthea, first of all, is not replacing or changing anything existing. It's being brought in as an ancillary benefit to improve the overall benefit package, to improve the mental health care benefit package. So we're working closely with that broker, with that employer, to get that plan in place. And then, of course, education is key, because all of you in the room today, you may have access to something like this in the future, and it's important that you fully understand what this therapy is. Am I a candidate? What does the process look like? And we want to make sure that members understand fully why it would be made available in the first place. So we're working closely.
And Molly, my last question, what is the average cost of ketamine-assisted therapy in a treatment center or at home, and how do employees or employers pay for it? Are there customized plan designs to offset costs?
So what was touched on earlier is ketamine-assisted therapy is not cheap by any means. The way our economy is, most people don't have $700 laying around per top for a course of treatment, and that's just one session in some providers' offices. So the average cost, to answer your question, on average is about $2,400 for the entire course of treatment if you're utilizing a virtual option, and then on average about $6,000, and that is for an in-person IV clinic coupled with psychotherapy. So the average cost, what that translates to, is making sure that the employee is meeting with the provider at least 3 times prior to going through the actual ketamine sessions. Then the ketamine sessions themselves are typically 4 to 6 sessions, and that's usually about 45 minutes. And then also included in that cost is about 8 psychotherapy sessions, because what we're finding is the psychotherapy is key, because really what ketamine therapy is psychotherapy using low dose ketamine as a tool. But it's very important that the psychotherapist is there on site working with that individual to process, because when you undergo ketamine assisted therapy, you can have some really deep stuff come up. That's the whole point of it. You want to have a change in your life. You don't want to keep masking and numbing with medications. And ketamine allows one to do this. It really allows us to get under the hood, so to speak.
Thank you for those details, Molly. You, brother. So we know that the legal landscape, the federal landscape, in particular in New Jersey, S2283, the New Jersey psilocybin bill, it has bipartisan support. It has a great shot at having, we have psilocybin service centers up and running like Oregon has in the past year, and Colorado will have in 2025. Research is going on at prestigious institutions, and these compounds are obtaining FDA approval. What does another new and emerging industry mean for union workers, and how can we here in New Jersey specifically prepare for a second industry that will include psychedelics?
All right. So, first off, I think the question should be start off with what we'll do for the overall workers, right? In the beginning of any industry, there's going to be excitement, just like the cannabis industry. People start working at a dispensary, people start working in the back of the house, and they're excited to do so. But then they realize quickly that it's a job. They have a role. There's an executive, profit driven. It's like healthcare, whether it's medical cannabis, adult use, or in this case, psilocybin or psychedelics. What we have done in cannabis is we are one of the few states, besides New York, besides California, besides Illinois, that have labor requirements in these bills. You know, everybody's excited about the emerging industry and all the auxiliary sides of it, but we have to remember to any industry that comes into play starts with working class people. Sorry. It might be an executive who comes up with an idea, but it's the workers who implement that idea. And like we saw in cannabis, we want to have the same labor requirements that allow workers to form, to join a union, to assist in that process, and to collectively bargain, to have a union contract, to know that they're not going to be fired after 3-4 months. You know, we're seeing that in other industries where they bring in temp agencies. They have workers who work as temps. They say, you know, in for three months or so, it's a temp, and ends up being a year. The worker doesn't have access to labor rights. The worker doesn't have access to health care. The worker doesn't have access to sick time, vacation time, to be a human. So what we want to do, just like we did in cannabis, is put labor peace requirements in psilocybin from spore to sale. Make sure those workers are protected, to make sure they have longevity, and to make sure that they can actually retire with dignity one day. So we have asked the Senate and the Assembly to put those same, to copy and paste from cannabis right into psilocybin, so that those workers will not be taken advantage of. And just a quick note, for people that don't know, under the National Labor Relations Act, agricultural workers don't have the right to form a union. Pretty amazing, and it shows, and there's a lot of history behind that. Racism, exploiting workers from other countries, it's happening right now. And so with the state, that's why it's important that on the state level, we get labor peace into New Jersey's psilocybin bill, so that they won't exploit the workers, keep them from joining the union. And what we're seeing in cannabis is places that are non-union, they don't have a collective bargaining agreement that protects their job, they're bringing in temps into the back of the house. And they're taking advantage of migrant workers, getting them CRC badged, and then get rid of them after the harvest is done. So, disgusting. So we want to make sure it doesn't happen to psilocybin.
Right, outstanding. Let's get those labor peace agreements in those contracts. So you heard from Dr. Hinson about the safety and efficacy of ketamine. I mentioned 2 case studies that showed outstanding results for some serious conditions. We heard from Jeff how there is a unique model, an ecosystem in place where all these amazing venues and companies can come together to offer a tool that can add to the bottom line of an employee financially and positive health outcomes. Do you think ketamine-assisted therapy is something the UFCW will be interested in bringing on as employee benefit? And would there be any concerns or questions after hearing all we heard today?
Well, I think all labor would be in favor of this. I mean, our mission as a union is to take care of the workers, right? The membership, to make sure that they understand that they have choices, that it's affordable. You know, if it, you know, look, we want our members to be healthy so they can keep taking advantage of their career and have retirement. We don't want people to depression, anxiety, substance abuse, they lose their lives, they lose their trade, they lose family, they lose everything. It's horrible. So if it's going to help the membership, I mean, I think all of it. It's just making sure that it's affordable. That we also have to negotiate with the companies, right? So we negotiate with the companies, and they have to end up putting stuff as well. We don't want it to trickle down. Trickles down to working people. Trickle down to the business. So it's just the way it is. It's the way the system is built in this country. I think it's right, but it's a reality. You know, it's a reality. So we have to come up with ways to make it affordable companies and also making sure that it doesn't pass all the way down to the work.
Any last parting comments from any of our panelists before we take questions?
Again, I think this is an important conversation. I think that we need to follow the science when we make decisions, right? Because for too long, the stigma around cannabis and the stigma around psychedelics, has been misplaced in a lot of ways. These are medicines that should be looked at as such, and improving the access for the population to these therapies and to these medicines, one of the best ways to do that is via the employee benefits program. That is how you can open the doors of access to the masses. So, really important to partner with organizations like USW and others to provide access to these medicines to folks who need it. And really work together and find a way forward to get that done.
Thank you, Jeff. Any other comments from our panelists?
Yes, I wanted to just bring up a study just to touch on the point I made earlier that there's new data coming out all the time on the benefits of ketamine assisted therapy. So this was from September 17th, University of Washington School of Medicine. Ultra low dose ketamine can curb opioid withdrawal. In a study, ketamine helped some patients with their treatments and overcome their fentanyl addiction. I mean, that's huge. So this just touches on how ketamine is proving to help with substance use disorder, not only with alcoholism. There's studies showing that those that have gone through ketamine assisted therapy at 6-month follow-up had an 86% abstinence rate. So that's just, alcoholism. Opioid abuse are probably two of the top addictions in our country right now. So if we have a form of therapy that can help those members who are suffering right now, that's huge. So I just wanted to close with that.
Thank you. Can I have a round of applause? Any questions from the audience? Any questions on ketamine assisted therapy? Yes, ma'am.
I like finishing it quick. I hate jabs that last 2 fucking minutes. I'm sitting there dying.
Well, I think that the power of the psychedelics is that they help you to deal with these issues in a healthy manner, right? There are times when the experience may be traumatic, but sometimes you have to face that in order to be able to deal with it. It's just that these psychedelics have a way of being able to have you deal with it in a manner that is healthy for you, that is not so much of a traumatizing experience that you're actually able to work through it. And I know this from experience personally. I wouldn't tell you to do something that I wouldn't do myself. So I've done high dose of shrooms. I've done ayahuasca. These are powerful psychedelics, which do bring up things from the past, things that you're dealing with. But again, it's done in a manner where, okay, this is why I'm reacting the way that I am. And again, it doesn't just tackle it on the surface, the superficial stuff, the memory and the behavior. It actually rewires those pathways because for years, your brain reinforces those patterns. They create like these expressways, these highways that trigger you. Well, these psychedelics help to block those expressways and get around it and bypass it and create new healthy ones. So it can be a scary thought going into it, like having to bring up this past trauma. But trust me, it does it in a way that you're able to deal with it in a healthy manner, as long as it's done appropriately, which means the dosing is appropriate and in an appropriate setting.
and also appreciate the work that everybody has put into this event. It's been a fantastic event. I just wanted to do that. And it was like no dab bar I've ever been to. In a dab tent. He's over there tending bar. With new fun inventions, choices of olives, choices of grapes. I really like that. Vaporizer. Like pretty cool stuff. Technology. So yeah, I'm glad they spoke about some car a little bit. That's the reason why we don't have one. I'm personally like they said before, he won't be there forever. But how many more people have to die before he's done? So hopefully, Senator Sweeney there. Very hopeful. Still a couple of years away. But, Brendan. Tripod on paper. Shordro is here. Just watching everybody make everybody. I'm gonna try to get some interviews. I didn't know when that was gonna end. So everybody I was gonna get to do is happening. I'm trying to just find like either Jim or Pat. They're at the dab bar. I left them at the dab bar, so forget about it. He ain't coming back. You won't see him for a while. I want to talk to Pat about more injunctions, like they did for him. New injunction for equal opportunity. So let's give it a shot. Me, I'm happy with the 10-foot rat. I want to go to his house. He and Jim Miller want to go to his house with the 10-foot rat. You know, Jim Miller. He might not be able to do it quite right. I may do it on Rat's going to put in some work this year. We need to do the South End Road Police Station. What's up, Pasadena? Third mic is ready. Oh, man. See, this is the best union hall ever. First time I walked in here, I saw this is the place for me. Because we know if you can smoke cigarettes, you can smoke anything. Patients, we can smoke. So I'd like to have an event here for crab legs and ashtrays. Cheers. Yeah, the UFCW really put on a great event. These guys are on. They're really feeling nice. Everybody's set. A lot of people haven't seen. People are here smoking. Some serious networking going. A lot of education, a lot of collaboration. This is what we need in this community. More collaboration. I'd love to see this. And this is a free event, by the way. Free event, free tap bar, free weed, and free food. Love the UFC. I don't need to smoke any weed to get I've done in years. Seriously, the experience of that. Up there, there's a bunch of voices, beautiful bombs, grapes, crows. Choice. It would be great. There we go. He's the original co-host anyway. This is our co-host, Jim Miller. Jim Miller. Yes, sir. We have a mic for you. What a great event. I'm having a great time. I was having fun at that dab bar. That was fun. This place is awesome. Yeah.
You know, that little incarnation too. This one was like information.
Yeah, great comment. Really.
It was very on. So it's not that hanging out, you know,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. No, I learned about it.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm the best stab tender in New Jersey.
I'm liking it to this. I couldn't go on with the ball. 5 shows, 2 shows. I couldn't and wait till
Well, yeah,
I,
just, yeah.
I could come into as much fun as it is. I decided to gab as much as I really could to still maintain my
I need one more.
but it's I'm feeling well in that situation.
I like that you're at the dab bar with me. Most people our age aren't at dab bars. Usually young people now. I'm 50.
How many longer years
Long years.
You know, stop.
Like dog years or cat years? Long years. I'm gonna try to put this in the speakers. Keep talking. Ready, go. We're live. It's actually interesting. Yeah, nobody knows what we're doing. I love it. Oh, 10 out of 10. I love any event here is amazing. Great networking, fellowship. Seeing people I haven't seen in years. NPX, amazing. They're supplying the dab boy. So they're working with Matt Hatter on some stuff too. Yeah, there's a collaboration there. Matt Hatter got their CO. Excited about that. I go in there as it is now. An empty dispensary. I walk in there every time I do a podcast. You see it? It's empty. It's empty. There's no one in there. It's like, okay, we need people. Just literally me turning the lights on, turning the lights off. Kind of like a gatekeeper. Yeah, I'd love to get some more interviews. Let's see. Did you do a Why Do We Still Waiting video? Did you do? Saying who you are, what your ailment is, how cannabis will grow it. Then you say, I'm going to edit the hell out of it. I'm going to edit the heck out of this. Just do a minute. Sure. It's just who are you? What's your ailment? That you have cannabis help. Ready? Ready? Go. Ready? Go.
I mean, I can think as long as any other you have fun? What that costs? Have fun? You know, I don't get to do like fire. What if they mind if I do that here? Type scale. No. Back that up. Oh! We're not going to hear that bill now. We're not
Cut. Cut. Print. Print it.
I get along 5 minutes already.
I want to get a few people. A lot of people here with me. See Andrew. Can you grab Andrew?
Somebody else here.
He's a fan.
You're asking me to take us.
These are the fights they're on now too. Every time the UFC has an event, the UFCW has it. Vice versa. UFC. This is UFC. That's what I've done.
Just look and make sure.
Oh, I got the StreamYard right here. StreamYard. There we are. And there's people commenting. Oh, here's oh, he's coming to smoke a blunt.
That was timely.
What do you mean our audio's terrible? This audio better be good. Oh, this one. So yeah, there's a long line of people and tables. Just network. Definitely. Over there. No problem. I'll stop and take care of the kitten. Two kittens. So I gotta be there and bring them there. Because one of the kittens hides on the sofa. The other one loves me. So let the other one know that I'm not going to eat her. She's scared. The other one kind of bullies her. So the other one hides. So it comes out. Then she's skittish. If anyone has some more helpful hints on how to socialize a feral kitten, of course, I know she's sad because she hurt her legs. She was her helper because it couldn't grab. But see what's wrong with her. She sees something.
I called the menorah to agree. It's like each night you add another joint.
Billy Smokes, that's
I know, like, somebody, so the video on the Public Bee Garden that we did in 2016 was like,
they see the fucking face with the YouTube.
Dude.
What's up, my brother?
Dropping a little flavor pack here.
Yo, want to have a seat and talk for a minute? You got a couple minutes?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, say hi. Come around this way. Yeah.
That's a long
Yeah.
table,
Come
man.
on. It's a long, long table. I know. That is a long way, too. You got headphones. They should work. Yeah. We're doing it the right way. Oh, these are beautiful joints here. Oh, yeah, look at that. Krishna cookies.
And the pink one is orange
Ooh, Earth Creamsicle in the house. So, what do you think about this event? This is really fun. Really. So, who are you? What are you doing here?
We can help you learn about education, and we like to help you many programs, whichever they choose, hydroponic, soil, aeroponics. We can get you through the entire harvest, all the way through.
The first time you ever smoked weed, what do you need? First time you ever smoked weed? I don't think I ever answered.
First time I ever seen it?
Yeah. How old were you? And is there a story?
I don't know.
Yeah, good. I can hear you. There you go. That's good.
So first time was there was like 2 Saturdays in a row where we like walked in, hang out in the back of the shop, right? And she had stayed there.
At the shop, right? Yes, we were back at 7-Eleven.
Yeah, good time. Well, one of my buddies, first, it was actually like the first Saturday we did this, he took a Marlboro cigarette, and I must have out.
Yeah.
And did whatever. The following Saturday, it's like rolled in like marijuana inside and shit. Yes, it's like I got a fight about that. I had a draw, so that man.
What's your favorite? What's your favorite munchie?
I don't know. Sometimes it's ice game.
Hello? Hello, everybody. Quick note. We're going to have a rolling contest. So, more weed, I guess. More cannabis. Yay. But I wanted the sponsors of the rolling contest, Ruby Gardens. They have been a great group to work with. They're not just interested in straight cannabis, they're trying to do hemp production as well. And both of these folks up here, Frederick and Mike, are two of my favorite people. They're workers. They came to the industry, they've worked their way up, and they want to be workers to owners. And I'm really proud of them. So before we do the rolling contest, I wanted them to say something because this is exactly what it's about. Working people have an opportunity.
Apparently, I can get social equity even with an expunged license. Yes, I didn't know that. Steve from Daylight.
Hi, how y'all doing today? Thank y'all for coming out. Appreciate it. My name's Mike.
No, I got it.
I like the love. Thank you. Appreciate that. So, yeah, we're up and coming cultivation. We're going to be based out of Burlington. We're all organic farm, so we don't do no salts, no chemicals, or nothing like that. Even when it comes down to pesticides and don't use none of that stuff. So, we're not really focused on. in it to compete on like a production level. You know what I mean? We're in it for the quality. I rock the belt. I'm for the culture. You know what I mean? Like, you see, I look like a hippie. I played a part. But yeah, I'm gonna hand it over to my boy Fred. I'll tell you a little more. Alright, so Mike is our we're a two-part team for our system of output. Mike is our grower. He's gonna handle all of our cultivation. I will be our I've been breeding plants since I was like 15. My mom had cancer, so I used to breed plants for 2 months. So she used to send me across the way to California. Oh, she used to send me across the way to California for summers. I used to spend those actually growing on a farm who had a license out there. So I used to breed plants out there. And now we're going to bring that organic style to New Jersey. That was probably it. Talk over. We actually have a lot of upcoming events in which we're actually trying to do a lot of programs for the community. As a career, I work in real estate, so there's a huge barrier in our communities that literally home ownership is almost impossible to reach. So we're going to actually use some of the money that we make from our cultivation to actually break that barrier for the people in our community. We're going to, during our events, we're actually going to offer resources for the community free. So if you actually follow our Instagram, which we give out a lot of stickers, we actually will post our events and you guys can get community resources for free, like financial health and wellness, housing assistance. We even have a rent-to-own program and a partner that I have in real estate is actually sponsoring. So you guys should really follow us. And our Instagram is at groovygardensaj.com. I'm sorry, it's just that's our website. But yeah. So we're actually going to have this rolling competition. So since I am not that high, I'm good to judge. Hugh, I need you to sit up here. Yeah, your turn, buddy. Nope, sit. Okay, so it's a rolling contest.
I could do remote.
Lefty should be in, John.
No, I'm good. I'm gonna do a remote. I'm gonna try to get on here.
Nope, sit. Sorry about the fucking low. We both just took a nap, so a little high. A little high. Very high, actually. Well, next, we actually have an event coming up. It's the Groden Show event, and we will have a DJ there. It's a little bit of a party after. Okay? We're actually going to offer educational workshops. I don't know. Pick a high guy song. Like, there's so many. Yes, that is it. I wish you could have got the stickers. I think we ran out, really. We still have some? Oh, just give me a sticker. The embarrassing part's over. Come on. All right. I need 4 people who think they are the best roller in this room. No, seriously. Think to yourself right now, am I the best roller right now? Papers.
I gotta bring the weed or you bring the weed?
I got the weed. Are you
I got papers. We got that too. I wrote that. We want to see who is the best roller in this room. Jake, you want to challenge? We have one. Oh, I'm Fred. Nice to meet you too.
Looks like Goldstein is going to be. Goldstein is entering the competition. Chris Goldstein is an active supporter of Kamala or I sometimes know how to say her name, of Miss Harris.
Oh, yes.
Oh, do it. Yeah, do it.
Yeah, check 1, 2.
just got to see
Check
the
1,
sun
2. You have to switch this up. There you go. We're gonna talk while we roll today. This is
Chris Goldstein is a man.
Oh,
I don't say crutches after I broke my leg. I just don't even say crutches anymore. You say crutches? I don't say crutches. I appreciate that. I don't want to turn you into a human microphone stand. That's like a Keith Haring. So talking and rolling. This is not a contest, I assume.
Nope. Nope.
So I use index cards for
Oh,
my tips,
hit
and
it,
hope
hit it,
everybody's
hit
okay
it.
with that.
It is
That's what I
the
do.
best constructed and pulled joint roll. So,
Constructed and pulled.
yes.
That makes it sound like taffy, like we're pulling candy, you know?
Have fun with it.
My index cards. I use index cards for notes and art.
A rolling
I make index cards
Do you
art
think you were
on
the best
Instagram.
one out of these three gentlemen? Sir, do you think you were the best one?
Tried and true.
These three gentlemen?
Tried and true, like $5.
Do you want to put it in?
I think I bought it off
What's
a
your bid?
friend
I got
for
weed.
$5. So it wasn't even like new at $5.
Bet.
Used at $5. And if you can sell a used grinder, if it retains its value over time between people, you know it's really good. You know what I mean? Can I have some weed? Yeah, okay. Is there weed? Is there weed?
Give me a second. I'm gonna go get that. If you guys have fun rolling your own, enjoy the Susans. You get to keep them.
Oh.
Oh, the contest is coming. They're just warming up. Yo, let them warm up. It's okay. I have to go get weed. I just needed to see if there was 4 people.
I thought this was the contest too.
Yeah, no, I wanted to see if there was 4 people brave enough to say it.
Dude, it's like
Oh, one of us will represent the company, and Mike, you beat me last time. I'll accept that. I said that publicly. Here you go.
makes it sound like the CIA is doing rolling here. One of us will represent the company today.
Grab a chair. Oh, go grab weed too.
What part of Jersey are you from?
Actually, I've been everywhere, but we moved around a lot. So I actually lived most of my life in Burlington City.
No kidding.
Yeah.
My Aunt Mary used to live over the butcher shop at the end of the high street, right by Cafe Gallery when it used to be called Cafe Gallery.
I know that.
Yeah. In fact, this was 30 years ago, but there used to be a butcher shop there, and there used to be a hobby store named Freeman's on the block there.
I think they were there for a while, but at certain points there's a lot of stores that come in.
Oh yeah, there's like florists and all kinds of stuff there. But
But
she lived over there, right on High Street. It was cool.
it's okay. We're currently actually investing money in Burlington City, trying to
Are you?
rebuild the community. So it's going to be really nice soon.
That's cool. I'm a Quaker, and I used to work at the Good Friends Center there on High Street as well.
Oh,
And that's one of the oldest buildings in the United States. Actually,
yes. See, that was the thing. I wanted to see if anyone from the industry was going to say it. Give me a second. No, we're getting weed. Give me a second.
in a burst of trash talking. No, we were just talking about Burlington City. Burlington City's cool. Burlington City's cool. I appreciate that. What's your name? Lena. It is very nice to meet you, Lena. And you're from Sweet Spot? It is a nice shirt. It's a nice shirt. Oh, okay. Through the company. That's true. Yeah. You're absolutely right. Never give shitty shirts. Do you hear us, folks? Never give shitty t-shirts. Only buy the best for giveaways. I agree with that. Because people will wear it. They will wear it out. They will wear it with pride. They'll be happy to. Yep, exactly. Exactly. Yeah, it is a nice shirt. Wow. That's a Blazy Susan. It looks good. Looks good. I'd say that's like a good 1/4 inch by diameter there. And using up the full. Ooh, nice. Hash joint. Hash joint. You're using up the full. I notice you don't use anything to seal the joint. Like, you don't spit on it or anything. You know, yeah, just a little bit. Yeah. Very dry. It's very dry. It's a good dry lick. Yes. Yeah. There you go. There you go. Is that why? That's why you grow your beard that way. It's the extra dryness there. Yeah. Exactly. See, beard. There may be a beard secret to the joint rolling because they lick it and then dry it on their beard. It's like a special little thing that they do. It's like a little beard secret. Wow. We might be revealing some stuff here today. Lefty, we just discovered something. All the joint rollers have beards. It's the beards. So they lick it and then it dries. They do this quick little dry on the beard. Comes off and it's like a quick drying thing. We have to roll with the plant. That's interesting. You have to put little turkey legs and leaves on it.
No. Winner gets to take this plant home.
Oh, yeah. Damn, now it got serious. Oh, I was just doing this for fun. Now I want to make a plan.
No. I wanted to also
I know
provide.
this is in practice though, I thought. It's got hash in it.
No, I also
Yeah,
wanted
the
to
flowers
provide
here.
you guys with this. This is organic grown cannabis. This is the same thing we're going to do on our farm.
Wow.
So, how much do you need to roll your perfect blunt, sir? Oh, about 2 grams? All right. We're going to eyeball. How much do you need? Yeah, you take it out. This is why I kept having those competitions. I kept scoring. You beat me last time.
Huh? All right. How much do you need to roll your perfect font, sir? All right. Is about right? No more? No more? Gotcha. All right.
Brother Connor. Hey Connor, how are you, man?
Okay. Oh, that's John.
I gotta show you. I'm working.
Oh. Yes, organically grown. Yes.
Yeah, so me and my friend, we do a
You
little
guys,
bit of
you guys should be able to do this at home.
as well.
The first
so on
plant
the
I
left
ever
is a honey
grew was
banana.
in a closet. And my mom found it.
And then on the right, it's just like some random shit that we got. I think I might pick up
No,
my
she
Jersey
sent me to
Kings
go
photo over there.
to my other top 10 uncles who grew plants on the
Yeah,
farm.
this is our outdoor that we have. Indoor.
Yeah,
We got some great
it's
stuff.
fun.
That's
I
me,
had
my friend.
fun.
Yeah, North Jersey. Wow. That's a zombie jet bug now.
But it's legal out there. So it's like, I came over here and I couldn't do it.
And we're
but
young
like,
doing
it's
it,
still
you know what I mean?
I just way more secretive because my uncles taught me. Kind of. But like, our company's really made up of like a group of families. So like, his family is like awesome and everything. My mom passed away. That's cool. It's cool. But like,
It's all natural. The only time we've
they're
ever
my family now. So like,
is cow bag. That's it.
yeah,
It's water, like literally just water. That's it. We had a little bit of a right problem, and the way we consolidated that was with ladybugs. We didn't want to use neem oil. We were just like, let's just get 1,500 ladybugs, take 50, throw them in there, freeze the rest, because they're good for 3 months. Yeah, yeah.
honestly,
Fridge.
we're doing
Yeah,
a
they go
lot
to
of
sleep.
donations to autism because like I'm autistic, my son is autistic.
Throw me the deuces, guys.
Cannabis helps so much because like
I
also
need
have epilepsy.
So we have a 2x5, I think it's a 2x5
So like,
that I showed you.
I've
We
been
have
able to like
two
do
little,
that.
you know, basically like those two heads. And it's I think it's clay or organic soil. We're not doing builder soil because we really want to dial in the soil program and get the microorganism, you know, microbiology and everything. We have earthworm casting in there, so it's that school bed method where it's like stacks and stuff. And we have like clay, raw compost, and then we do the top feeding with some of our compost casting. Yeah, it hasn't really perked up all too much, but that's because we don't feed it. You know, we haven't done any live tea brewing or anything like that because we're still trying to dial in our soil, so we don't want anything to die. You know what I mean? That's like the main thing for our first run. It's our first run too. For indoor. I can't wait. I am so excited for everything.
I haven't.
We're friends on Facebook or Instagram.
Yeah. I commented the other day on his post. I said blacklist. I added blacklist. And I was like, yo, what are they doing? Help them. Yeah. I'm trying to get the name and word out. You know what I mean? That's what I'm all about. Me? Nothing yet. We don't have one. Yeah, it's just me and my friend. Okay. I know we gotta dial it in to get a company. We can't think of anything.
Fun thing.
Well,
Follow our Instagram. We
I
actually
was actually gonna be have a license. Their municipality would let them go, so we would just deny them.
At certain points, probably around holidays, honestly.
But it's only like 1K for a micro.
And they'll be at the
right?
events.
So that you do that, but yes. I really don't. Like, what's gonna happen if I get a license and my money flat money? So what am I really doing besides my own time? Research. That's how the state works. So like they contradict themselves every single time. So it's like if you're gonna license pot and then give licenses to
Okay, well,
it goes around. That is
yes,
one way.
obviously,
It's
two
just
people,
that I don't think anyone realizes.
They arrested him for growing. They got the ground beef. So again, a lot of people don't know you can't grow weed.
Yeah.
Thanks to Bob.
Get on the road and I'm gonna drop the hammer. So you know how it is.
It's right.
It's either the right lane in 65 or the left lane in 80.
So it's definitely
You know, we gotta make time today.
I'm in North Jersey.
I love it. It's awesome.
Okay. I'm in like
got it all set.
Okay.
So that's
I'm glad people are having fun.
That's
I can't wait to see it. Hugh, where did you run off to?
Oh, with that your thermometer. Okay, I got it. That's right.
And then he had to chop it. He was having a lot of problems after my problems. He did some he sprayed pesticide, but he didn't use any pesticide.
Yeah, you should find him. Thank you.
He started burning. Get some music straight.
Hey, hey, Judge. Judge, right there.
We had a Pennywise. I was trying to find more.
What?
You
don't watch two of the most embarrassing moments of my life. You're eating now, buddy.
Yeah, so we're trying to find genetics. Like
Talking in front of
we were going to make a high CP that's a hash, like a hash rosin. That can help us as well.
No.
You know, a more medical
It's a ton of things. I'm also executing my
stop the sick really high, like awesome and really high stop high law. And it just really knocks you out.
Have horrible pain.
and we can all every
Try to get that strength.
every last one.
Yeah, man. Thanks for everything you do too.
We're still embarrassing my
Photos, video.
I just texted you. Just send it. You want any RSL for you?
Yes, I want to see who wants this. This is no one. Yes, yes, it is hemp right now. So if you come to our events, we're going to teach you the difference between hemp and weed. Okay, there is a very, very thin line that these politicians are arguing for. Right now, I can give this to you. It's not mature. This is hemp. Yes, you can have it if you win. I know you wanted to use your own weed. We had weed for you guys, grown in organics. There's no chemicals that touch this.
I'm a brother.
Also, of course, midway through the roll, my hands started getting all dirty and I'm like, I always stuff it. I like it too much. I'm like, giving there just vibrating. 1 second, like, oh, like, I know. Really all like long, not shape.
Oh, we have a professional. He's in the industry.
When I'm rolling up at home sometimes, gotta like put it down and be like,
Oh,
back in 5
legacy?
minutes.
Even better, bro. You've been doing this a long time. It's okay. We'll get you there. Come to the events. I promise. I'll talk. I got you.
Dirty mayor.
Oh, you were able to make more than that? Keep the rest, but still, seriously. Which one do you think is the best? Oh, okay. Where's your? Did you this one? Huh? Okay. You represent us right now. You beat me last time. Remember that. Hmm? Hmm? No. Every time we have a rolling competition, we're just gonna roll the night before, and whoever wins is going to represent the company. So this is. How bad do you want your license? How bad do you want your license?
Whoa. That's rough. That's like the box on a string. Like, you really want your license, you have to go under that box. That's rough. Yeah. Seriously, Rob. Oh no.
Yes, yes,
Oh, no.
yes. I actually need a volunteer to judge too. Who's not high enough in the room?
Sam's not high enough.
Sam. All right, come on, buddy. Oh yeah, come on. Oh, he's warming up.
Wow.
So hopefully you guys brought your A game. We're gonna find out who the best roller in the room is.
This is pro. These are pro. There's one on the end here too. Hold on. Can't forget this one.
Oh no, we gave them as much as they felt they could roll their best.
Do we have to put numbers on these? Like secret numbers? Hold on.
Oh no, this is a blind test.
Oh, it's a blind
for our
test.
judges.
Wow.
Oh wait, no.
I know that's the one you want to pick up. It's like, oh, that's the perfect joint. That's the perfect one.
Oh, this is a blind test. I'm gonna mix these up. I got 3 people that are
Also,
gonna
it's
test
close at
this.
the top. It's nice.
Oh no, you will know
It's in
by
there.
which one they choose.
It's in there.
So
It's in there. I made sure
I'm
it's in
gonna
there.
shuffle these.
I made sure it's in there. It's in there.
Okay. He stacked the deck. I feel like he's disqualified.
There's hash in there.
You can't do that.
Damn, dude.
We use the organic
Wow.
weed. Like you kind of used. All right. All right. No. I'm maybe this one. Do you feel like all right. And I said no crutch. Nothing was a crutch. So this is your best. I got you. This is also a test how high people get with how we grow. So oh, bet. We're gonna have like some friendly cups, so follow our Instagram. Sweet, bet. Thanks. I'm gonna try this, and hit me up on Instagram, Groovy Gardens NJ. Yeah. If you didn't get one of the stickers, like I'm so sorry. We have more in the back apparently. Oh, okay. You guys are good people. You know what? Come to our next event. I promise you, I will give you something to try. Some exclusive stuff to try. Wink, not to judge. You know, PC and all. Yeah. Smell. We want to highlight all the people who grow. So home grow, definitely. We want that passed because I started at home. Why can't other people? Oh, see, if he grew that, I'm gonna test that against some stuff I got at the house. What he don't know. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Oh, I need Hugh to. He's gonna come back up here. I got. Yeah, like he's already smoking. What the hell? Huh? Oh yes, a female judge would be great. Hey, ladies, any ladies? Does any lady in the house want to be a judge? Bet. All right, Mike. Judges, you guys take these 3 seats. Hugh keeps running away. He's taking this right now. You got to take all 3 of these. 4, 5. There's 5. No, on the outside. And someone hit hash in one of these. I just want you to know, Hugh, you're running away. No, Hugh. I will settle for Jake. He disappeared.
No, if I ever want to come, like this is too much.
Oh, yeah, come on. What? Yo, I just need a union member. Oh, you got to be a judge.
I could do that. Yeah, I can't do it. I can only guarantee. Perfect.
Oh, what is this? You handed me weed. I love it. Thank you. But, like, I have to judge the roller. I have to do the roller competition. We're all 5 of these out here. Okay. Now, judges. Hey. Ooh. All right. There are 4 people who thought they were the best roller in this room. From the industry. Hold on. We added a representative of the company because my friend and business partner beat me last time. And this is my way of getting back at him. So, 4 people put their butt in the ring and thought they are the best in this room at rolling weed. And I said they could use whatever they wanted. We even provided the weed. So, we also have one person, because we also keep arguing about this, and he beat me, so he's going to represent us this time in a professional manner. So, we also think we're the best roller duo here. So, his is in there. So, judges, off of look, which one is the best one to you? Oh, they're going to confer because they have to spark them up in a certain order. No, we don't. We don't. We want to keep this a complete secret because we're going to hold up the winning joints after they get a rotation. Oh, they're growers. They grow weed. Oh no, the first one sparked is the winner. Okay. Oh, hold on. Wires. Sorry. All right, put them in order. Oh yeah, see, it's harder thought process. Yeah, you guys have to think how you're going to enjoy these in order because you have to spark them in rotation of the order you put them in.
Conversation, Kathy. Yeah, everything's all for mine. I'm like, gee, where I say?
Rolling is a
Did I say
skill.
what I'd be back?
Okay, like this is a craft. Okay, these craftsmen made you what they thought was their best shot at being the best roller in this room. Okay, so you have to spark them in the order you judge, and you have to spark them in that exact order. But before we spark them, we're going to find out who wins. Okay, you guys got it down? Oh, Mike, later. Oh, hey. Okay, hold on. Before we spark this, who rolled this? Who rolled this? You guys said you could all judge them by sight. So I need our 4 contestants to please come back up here. I need our 4 contestants to please come back up here. Oh, you said you can judge them by sight. You remember? Oh, this was the winner. Not yours? Not yours? Come on, guys. You won. Oh, I kind of figured. He looked like he'd been rolling a lot. A lot. Like, he's definitely a designated roller. Just off sight. Sight. Glasses inside. Let's look at it. Glasses inside. MPX hat. Chill, just persona. Yeah, he's definitely a stoner. Real job, though. Let us be. Check out our Simply Stoner clothing line coming out. Just be yourself. I know, right? And guess what? We got more weed for you. You won, bro. See those cups right there? Take them. All right. So we're going to enjoy these in that order. And you judges, thank you for that moment. You guys get to enjoy them at your leisure in that order. So you get to sit up here and enjoy those. Split them, do whatever. That is your prize. Thank you.
And it was so nice. Yeah, and it's like the drop of
He also won the plant.
There's like two or three people that got up and like fair warning. Yeah, I'm trying to get like the other dude was saying, that's what I'm gonna die. I'm fucking 85 the whole way here to my struggle.
I'm a really big fat right now.
Because it was literally like, even like,
Who you want to roll with? Let's roll.
This is the hash.
Let's roll, baby. I got some meat that you're gonna like. Sativa. The jab experience. It's just a jab experience. I got that in Amsterdam. When I went to Amsterdam, I had the experience like that. Where you go up to a bar, bartender, budtender, says, "Hey, would you like a bomb?" And, well, back then we didn't really. And flowers, and vaporizer. Vaporizer machine. Wow. It's a new one. That's just that gas watch. Gas watch. Gas watch. The Puerto Rican gas watch. Yes. John. But if you had a name like the Puerto Rican gas watch.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's why they sent that email. Like, hey, you gotta buy the product.
We'll have to ask them. Yeah. That was it, man. This is it.
Yeah, I mean, the place in LA was the same. Was like the dispensary was for you just had to buy something and you had to get 3% off. And then
Yummy.
Called the Northwest Cannabis Project. They literally worked out apps on this thing.
kids like carry limits.
Oh shit.
It's around here somewhere. I got
They
stuff.
left you off. Left you there. Like, yeah, I'm like, where is like, there.
Oh, you're sitting down there and sitting there waiting.
I need to grab my phone. Can you grab my phone? Don't burn yourself. That's hot. So I use a little wax in my it's always a fun day at the UFCW hall. It really is. Yeah. This is good. This is better. You can hear it. Yeah, underneath what you said.
That's great.
How long is your ride home? Leon, gotta feed the kitty. Okay, that's my lighter. I guess it's what's later.
You guys want to smoke one?
Yeah.
There's a couple on here. Do you remember meeting me?
Hey,
Hey,
what's going
nice
on?
to see you again.
How are you?
I saw you at the last 420 Expo.
That's what it was. Yeah, yeah.
You guys were fighting for
Yeah. Always fighting for homegrown. Never ending fight, it seems.
seriously, it's so needed. Like, my buddy from cancer patient, he can grow like an ounce at a time, and that barely touches what he needs for his meds.
No, no.
And he's doing that legally in his basement right now.
He needs like a pound a month, right? For the oil, right?
Yeah, so thank you guys for what you do. Much needed. And again, you got my info. I really do need it. When I say, like, I do have certifications, I know what it's possible to do, like, so if there's somebody that can't afford their medicine that needs it, I know dispensary is the place that you want, but let me know. We can get some stuff there.
Are you guys working with Mad Hatter?
I have not worked with them. I'm towards Jersey.
Yeah, they're opening up in like 2 weeks, 3 weeks.
I know that name, like, maybe Sydney, my counterpart, might be the other sales rep.
Okay.
She totally, but we all ask her advice. Like, that's something that we do. So reach out to me so I have your number and I'll let you know.
We're still live, and I should just pass the microphone down there. Just, I don't even have a microphone. No, we don't. No, we're right here. This is us, and they can hear us and see us.
Okay, before everybody finishes heading out, we're gonna do the raffles that we had. We have the UFCW member raffle, which is just for the members. It's just a little something. So it's a hoodie and some other swag. So. Oh, and then the other, I'll say what the other raffle is too, just so if any people didn't do it yet, you have a last minute chance to do it. I'm going to have someone at this table. It's going to be the red ticket. Adrian, thank you. Sorry. This is a donation from MPX. It's some flour. There's a disposable in there. Some goodies. You'll see. All right. And actually, just before we do that, if I could just have everybody just quiet down for just a minute. I did want to, before a lot of people headed out, I wanted to do a moment of silence for one of our members who tragically passed away this past weekend. He was one of our shop stewards, and he had planned to be here, and I just wanted to use this moment, just reflect on it, and thank everyone also for being here today. Tomorrow's not promised, so I just really want to thank everyone, appreciate everyone for coming out. This member, Michael Amen, he originally, when I first met him, he was so anti-union. We walked in there after ratifying the vote. He worked at Verano in the Grow. When we walked in there, he was, I'm not going to be in the union. I don't want that contract. And then 2 years later, he was my shop steward, and he's like, what can I do for the union? How can I be involved? You know, I want to be sitting and doing negotiations and being on the committee. And that's why he had also, of course, planned to be here today. He just wanted to be involved with his union as much as he could. And it really was appreciated. So I just wanted to reflect on that. And again, thank everyone for being here. And if, you didn't mind, if we could just take a couple minutes, or excuse me, just a couple seconds so we could just reflect. Thank you. Thank you. And that was in memory of Michael Amen. He was 34 years old. All right. All right, so this one is our member one. Maybe someone else should pull this. Jake, you want to pull it? Oh, sorry. No, put it back in. Shake it. Sorry. All right. So Jake is going to pick the number for us. Let's see what we have. This is the white ticket. So if you are someone who has a white ticket, the number is 528 528. That's the number. I didn't repeat it. Okay? So it's 528 528. No one has it? This is someone who did not write their name on it, so I don't know. I can't call them. All right, everybody check. If you have a white ticket, the number is 528 528. All right. Gonna call another number. All right, this is 528 536. But she does have her name on it. Antoinette. This might be my Tony. All right, I'm gonna hold this for her because I do believe I know who that is. If no one's gonna call that, I'm gonna call her. Anybody? All right, so I'll hold it. I'll hold it. I know, I just don't want the feedback. Sorry. All right, I'm gonna do. Sorry, thank you. All right, here's the MPX giveaway. Let's see. This is the red ticket. Everybody get your red ticket out. Red ticket.
Red ticket.
Who's gonna call it? Or pull it? Here we go. You can pull it. All right, let's see. Again, this is courtesy of MPX. Red ticket.
It's going to Rich Julia. Rich.
Well, it has their phone.
It has to be here.
No, we want them here.
Okay. It's a lot of product. You're going to be very excited about this one. I'm very carefully. Okay. Next draw. Alyssa Williams. Alyssa Williams. Oh, man.
Well, keep going until someone's here.
I want to give it a good shake.
All right. Tristan H. Tristan. We have a Tristan H. Tristan. Okay. Ooh, lucky number 4. Diane McNeely. We have Diane McNeely. Woo! We just got over an ounce of some CDs to work with, as well as some rosin and some other fun goodies. So enjoy that. It's definitely good for baking, smoking, any of the above.
Oh, yeah. In other words, I know it's 304. Before I leave the table, it's 304.
Oh, yeah. All right. We have one.
Afterwards.
Unbiased. Yeah, we have one more. That's fine. It's the Humboldt Humidor with the fanny pack, and then there's Yo products, Yo tips. There's a GT stash case. glass filter tip for 14 millimeters, like you can put your joints in your bones. So, yeah. 100% of these proceeds are going to the NJ Homegrow to help them.
For Epic P,
What's the number?
732.
Oh, no.
I'm sorry. 1034992. Eric? I'm sorry. Eric, thank you.
Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. See ya Tuesday, 4/20 from Mad Hatter Dispensary.
No, I know that, but like you're saying it could be I get that. I don't know if you're warning me for like for THC, I'd rather go
No, it's kind of fun to have a day like this. Just
Well, just gas.
Yeah, guys were having a ceremony.
Finito.
And then I look around, and you know, they're all going through.
Still here? This is be like a super bowl.
Got all like assimilated, like twice as big, like.
So what's exciting?
Thank you for doing this. Man, I didn't have to watch and listen to what everybody said. I just come because I get to watch this.
There's also many disabled people who can watch this too.
Yeah, but I get to watch the replay. Same words. You know, there's too many albums. No, that's not it.
I love the dab bar.
Not a dude, that's what how many choices were there?
You can do a cold start, do a hot start, 4 or 5. Stop. How do you want to get there? This fast? That fast?
I gave him the other extra one. Also, by the way, you can obviously wear this in any direction.
Alright. Cheers, yeah. That's a good
You know what I'm saying? But like, obviously, since there's no GG or well, I'm saying because there's no like GG or strain on it, you can choose whatever side you like. But I just thought it looked slightly cleaner printed.
I got a start
that way, but that's me being it's 3D printed, it's not fucking like
anyway, he was explaining and that you were there.
I didn't know if there was any writing and some of the older ones before I found the nice quality.
But if you go to tip, which you did, it was like, well, it's something I knew was going to be somewhere.
And I started learning like what type of materials.
First door on the right.
This was the first hat I ever pressed. But because like I'm so OCD, like it went over the stitching, I'm like, I don't know if I want to sell it. You know, that's how like would that bother you? Like that it's over the stitching?
Yeah, that was a good tough
That's
kick.
good to know for future. But at the same time, it had to for the size.
Sir.
Physically, wouldn't go down any further. That's like right there when I'm pressing out. Not you know what I mean? Like,
Thanks to you, Jake, Mike, everybody who took part in putting this thing together.
I'm not like.
I wonder why I always feel like I'm forgetting.
Do me a favor, grab Andrew.
I didn't know if you were possibly going to
Ask her to come over here. I want to do a 2-minute interview with her. Still waiting. Still waiting, really. I still haven't done that with her. It was like 2 minutes of her time. Just 2 minutes.
I don't know anything about it.
Thank you, sir. Hope you come over here now. Saw her on the highway. I saw them on the highway and I was following them for a while and then I lost them.
I don't even have to
Let's go
walk it
find out
off,
if she
man.
wants to do this thing. Andrea, got 2 minutes of your time?
I'm running a little too hard for not even working. I just realized I got that. I got the fucking. I gifted all the
Still waiting. Still waiting. Paco too. Oh, we're asking what your name is.
Looking for a pit bull dog right there.
Still waiting. It's very short. I just need like a minute. Cut up. Try to get as many people as possible.
I need freedom.
I'll let you know what my pop says. Those are for him. Mine need to stop. I got the tennis fucking on. Yeah, let me know. I still like those. Those are gonna work for my
So we'll be at the State House Thanksgiving morning. Big something. Canned food, dry. Maybe some coats and stuff and all that.
You guys, I'll give you
Catch you later, bro. Anything coming out.
Hot goods. We'll have some hot food. We'll probably have some stuff to eat. I'm not sure what we're gonna have yet. We'll have some food. We'll have some refreshments there. So that'd be good. That's at the State House Thursday, Thanksgiving. So you come out like 9, 10 o'clock. Come out for a couple hours and you go have Thanksgiving with family. Right, that's right. So, that's coming up. We'll also be at the Manhattan Tuesday. It's out there. We did change our time, I think. Instead of 7:10 Tuesdays and Thursdays. It's going to start with the Manhattan Focus. Being branded soon. Paco, can I interview you for 2 seconds? Actually, 2 minutes. Since we're live.
We're live?
Yeah, I want to ask you a question. It's about homegrown. Why are we still waiting? You never did a why are we still waiting. So can I ask you who you are, what your ailment is, how homegrown would help you? Say it again, start over. Wait.
I think they're trying to make right. They think it's the event there is like up the street. Yeah, I work on the sun. Yeah, it sounds like so maybe they're like
He said he got approved, but he hadn't yet utilized it. So I think
maybe this is like trial. Because it's like we have to buy product from the dispensary.
Well, it's like your ticket.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, so they someone wanted, but actually if I buy from it, he actually gave your free goodie bag, and so
just on the process.
Like a bar register.
I just went to a thing like a month ago. I just feel like if I grew up myself, dispensary in Mount Holly, New Jersey. I was like, working on like partnership with this coffee shop right on the street. Not even so it was like buy like anything like $45 a month. It's like I can't hang out. It was like garden greens and all of like the brands and all
You don't need a subject license if you are operating business and it so happens to turn blind eye.
Because there were regular people coming in the shop, but the backyard of this shop was the cemetery.
There was a network benefit to say that was art. Super funny because you walk in, like, why can't that be? Why can't that be? Why can't it be?
Probably like it's large and $1 million.
If you can make that money recreational, why can't you just
Go home and they're still here. It's like even if I can get my own topical food, they don't want to look inside your last $50 on small $50. I go to that every 2 weeks. It's not cheap being a medical patient. Like, and all the script or something like that. In order for you to medicate, you know, like the fried medicate, like the, I smoked literally like over half ounce of flour. Half ounce of flour with $285 that I'd have to pay a dispensary tax on top of the $1,200. So it's $1,500 from someone's literal mortgage payment from 2001 in a week. It don't make sense. Why do you literally me making my own medication, make affordable medication, like make my quality of life such a just what do you call it? You say that. Challenging the recreational market. People who grow at home, it's like experimental stuff, realistically speaking. Not everyone can grow commercial grade cannabis. Grow myself a couple of ounces. How hard is that? He starts working it a little bit, then pays for himself because he can't afford to go to the dispensary. Why is this such a hard concept to understand? You're not going to be competing with to get my body and possibly die on no problem. It's easy for me because it's the pain is what I need. That's for you. Wearing like
The second you get off, you now have
Say why we still
I used to
Right, like not all the not even
That was good. That was really good. No, I'm good. The pool. Put it in the pool.
Getting like 6 hours sitting there, like just having color blended, going over the same spot over and over.
They do these every year. These are fun.
And then
The best ones
being
so far.
stoned, getting my ribs done. I don't like being stoned. I'm going to get tatted. I'd rather smoke afterwards than get tatted. I used to be like, no, you know what? I don't want to leave a little anxiety going.
Couples that got Jim.
But I'm so used to getting tatted now that like, I don't really have that
Yeah.
anxiousness of like, I'm excited.
Yeah,
You know, that nervousness, but it's
Sure.
like, I feel it.
Oh yeah, you
Like,
Can I get you for 2 minutes? I want you to say something. Why are we still waiting?
you want to be interviewed here? Live podcast.
You're live.
What was the question? Why are we still waiting for homegrown cannabis? Why
Yeah.
it's here in New Jersey?
Yeah, I want to get you in the car with them. So
You
just
wanna
move
come have
over
a
here.
seat?
Yeah, yeah. Thanks, Paco. Yeah, we're trying to get home draw. We want to know why we're still waiting. So, what's your name? What's your ailment? What do you use cannabis for? And how would home draw?
You know what I'm saying? I'd rather take a while and like fully prove. I just thought I was even if you just like even if you like double it or something like that, on something or something, I thought you would find it just like I even talk as well. I was we were talking about all the things that
prices
here in New Jersey right now.
Oh, no.
So, home grow is really the answer. It's not the answer for everybody. It's not it's not their whole life.
Oh, the last one. Yeah, I was like, oh my God, well, words for me.
Let's produce as high THC as we can.
Can you say why are we still waiting?
Why are we still waiting?
You just say that. Why are we still waiting?
Why are we
I got a couple of questions for you. The first time you smoked weed, how old were you, and was there a story behind it?
I didn't actually smoke until I was 18.
18?
Yeah, so I was late.
Okay.
My
I've heard
friends-
some 30s, 40s. Yeah.
For me, it was I was on medication, Melanin still, and that exercise in Washington. So back in Washington, doctors over there encouraged it, so it helped me keep up there. You know, this is like, hey, you can't give me the weed. So her, she introduced it.
Sorry. And we're talking.
So the first time you smoked was a joint or a blunt or
Bowl.
a bowl?
Yeah.
Okay.
She had her little like glass pipe, small little glass cheap one that she would smoke in the hospital.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you can't let them know. Don't tell them. No, no, no. Take it away.
Yeah, so let me try that.
What's your favorite munchie food?
I make
Freeze-dried Skittles. Freeze-dried Skittles. Is it a textural thing?
Yeah, because it makes it crunchy.
Freeze-dried.
So yeah, you take a Skittle and put it in the freeze dryer, and they like explode. And they are amazing.
That sounds amazing.
I was super high and I was so upset at myself because when I figured it out, I did something stupid for myself. And then like a year later, freeze dried and we changed.
Okay. Yeah, you still get it. You still get it. This is started. Never heard of it. I like it. I'm down. I'll buy some. Tell me where to send money to. I want some.
So I'm going to start trying to sell this. Dispensaries just got approved to sell.
So speak to me. We got to talk because Mad Hatter is opening up in about 2 weeks, and they're looking for some products that we as patients enjoy, that we like. We like it, but push it up to Mad Hatter. We want good products up there. So yeah, we're looking for. They're not open yet, so we're looking for new and exciting things. Yeah. What's it called? What's the company called?
Galactic Candy.
Galactic Candy. Okay, right on. Do you have a website?
Yeah, it's
galacticcandy.com.
Okay. I plan on being it and having it as a free giveaway with my content. So,
very good. Thank you so much. I appreciate it, man. There's Michael. Hey, Michael.
I was just saying, something else and some stuff I saw, the Crutchmore Barbecue, Parlay Philly. It was a couple Sundays ago, but some guys from Michigan came through and they had the rosin and the BHO. You couldn't even tell the difference. I was like, bro. I was just saying, it's like some of the better BHOs I've seen.
So once you fill basically I use the centrifuge, so it spins it and creates such pressure, and then I can vacuum on it while it's in a centrifuge. So at that point, solvents are not big. Until you get to
Good boy, Ernie. Good boy. Yeah, I just got him.